This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Monday, September 30, 2024. It's by-election day for Northeast St. Anne. EOJ says it expects a smooth process for today's polls. And the EOJ says it's the final day to register for the November voters list. In regional news, CARICOM reaffirms support for Albert Ramdin to post of OAS Secretary General. In international news, Hezbollah says it is ready for any Israeli land invasion in Lebanon. In sports, Cavalier beat Waterhouse 2-0 in the Rennes Jamaica Premier League on Sunday. And in business, a California governor blocks landmark AI safety bill. The details after the break.
Attention motorists. It's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East-West. Automated T-Tag lanes reduce the cost of collecting and managing cash at our toll plazas, and drivers of Class 1 and Class 2 vehicles who use the T-Tag pay a lower toll fare than those who use the manually operated toll booths. These motorists also get their 10th trip through any one toll plaza free. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient, and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone, anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank, no waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents, all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Residents of the Northeast St. Anne constituency will head to the polls today to choose their next Member of Parliament. The Jamaica Labour Party's Matthew Samuda, the United Independence Congress Chase Neal, and independent candidate David Fritz Anderson are vying for the seat that became vacant on September 3, following the surprise resignation of sitting government MP Marsha Smith. Mahira Stewart goes over the timeline of events.
The governing JLP has been hemorrhaging support in Northeast St. Anne for the last few years. Smith had replaced JLP stalwart Shahini Robinson as the party's caretaker for the constituency in May 2020, following Robinson's death. But support for MP Smith quickly waned. She faced pressure from her own supporters, who protested against her, calling for her removal. Smith officially walked away as MP for the constituency on September 3, 2024. This made the Northeast St. Anne seat, one held by the JLP since March 2001, vacant. The following day, Prime Minister Andrew Holness made a surprise appearance at a post-cabinet media briefing to announce that a by-election would be held on September 30 to determine the constituency's next MP. Nomination day for the by-election was set for September 11. Following the Prime Minister's announcement, the opposition People's National Party, PNP, declared that it would not be contesting the Northeast St. Anne by-election or any other by-elections held in the lead-up to the next general election. The next general elections are due next year. PNP President Mark Golding described the Prime Minister's move as a slap in the face of the electorate. Nomination day came, and outside of Matthew Samuda, independent candidate David Fritz Anderson, who is also called 5 Pound, was confirmed as a nominee on the ballot. But by the close of nomination day proceedings on September 11, there were 3 candidates. Despite initially struggling to find 10 registered voters from the constituency needed to complete the nomination process, Chase Neal of the United Independence Congress eventually became the 3rd candidate for the seat. Residents of Northeast St. Anne will elect their choice today. Will Samuda continue the JLP's dominance in the constituency it has held for 23 years? The findings from the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools have revealed that the PNP has the upper hand in St. Anne, and the party doesn't even have a candidate on the ballot. The poll, conducted between September 6 and 19, sampling 1,246 respondents, shows that the governing JLP is 10 percentage points down in the parish. When asked which party's candidate they would vote for were the general elections to be held today, 36% said the PNP, while 26% said they'd vote JLP. The nationwide Blue Dot poll powered by Total Tools has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. Can Matthew Samuda hold the seat for the JLP? Or could growing support on the ground for the PNP translate into votes for the UIC's Chase Neal and independent candidate David Fritz Anderson? Who will be the new Member of Parliament for Northeast St. Anne? Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
The Electoral Office of Jamaica EOJ is expecting a smooth process for today's by-election in the Northeast St. Anne constituency. Matthew Samuda of the Jamaica Labour Party JLP, Chase Albert Neal of the United Independence Congress, and independent candidate David Fritz Anderson are the contestants for the poll. Director of Elections Glaspel Brown is advising voters to walk with their identification cards, as this will make the voting process more efficient.
Well, tomorrow is the by-election. We have the polling stations open at 7 and close at 5 p.m. We will start the voting process at that time. And we anticipate a small, very smooth day. We just ask person again, just as a reminder, that electors walk with their ID card. It assists the process for it to flow more freely, and ensure that they're able to do the process each elector as quick as possible.
Meanwhile, Mr. Brown disclosed the number of persons who are on the voters' list to participate in the by-election.
On the voters list, there are 40,836 registered electors on the list for Northeast St. Anne.
Glaspel Brown, Director of Elections. Meanwhile, speaking on Friday in Northeast St. Anne, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Shahini Robinson endorsed Matthew Samuda as her successor to the seat.
When she was ill, I had the opportunity to travel with her, and we were talking about who could be a good successor for the seat. And we both agreed that younger Matthew Samuda would be a good successor. He wasn't ready at the time, but now he is ready. He had the blessings of Shahini Robinson.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the head of Matthew Samuda's Northeast St. Anne communication campaign team, Senator Abka Fitzhenley, says a victory is the expectation of the JLP.
As far as the Jamaica Labour Party is concerned, all is set for today by election day in Northeast St. Anne. Our candidate Matthew Samuda is optimistic. He has put in the work. He has led a campaign underpinned by effective and positive messaging, telling the people of the constituency what he intends to do to make better their lives. Two independent candidates, one said to be a surrogate of the opposition party. We take nothing for granted. We intend to execute, bring out the votes, that at the end of the day, when they are counted, Matthew Peter Samuda will have the opportunity to build on the great legacy of Shahini Elizabeth Fakuri Robinson in a constituency which is near and dear to the hearts of many of us here in the Jamaica Labour Party.
Abka Fitzhenley, Government Senator. Independent candidate for Northeast St. Anne for the Northeast St. Anne constituency, David Fritz Anderson, says he and his team have done as much work as possible as he faces the polls later today.
I'm confident. I'm going into it. The work is already done. I mean, you know, we what we put in, we did just for the people to exercise their rights now, and we are fully geared and ready to run. I think I have a short tenure, but we put in as much work as we could, and the people are feeling us. So actually, the results will be shown at the end of the day.
David Fritz Anderson, independent candidate for the Northeast St. Anne by-election. In the meantime, today, September 30, is the final day for persons to be registered to be on the next voters list. That list is due to be published on November 30 this year. The Director of Elections is Glasswell Brown.
All right, for persons who want to be on the next updated list to be published at the end of November, tomorrow the last day, tomorrow being Monday, October 30th, is the last day that they can seek to be registered for them to be on that list. I don't think there'll be any extension. I think that's a timeline that has been set or given to us by the commissioners administratively. And as far as I'm aware, we will seek to maintain that timeline. So tomorrow, October 30th, is the final day for registration for the list to be published in November.
Glasswell Brown, Director of Elections, 349 names were added to the list last Saturday. In other news now, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, says reports alleging that one of its members was arrested in connection with the killing of Jamaica Defence Force Private E.J. Domville are false. The JCF says no serving member has been taken into custody. The police apprehended a 31-year-old resident of Charles Street on Saturday, September 28. He was taken to the Major Investigation Division, MID, for questioning. The JCF says the suspect was dismissed by the JCF as a trainee over 2 years ago following an incident. It says the suspect's arrest is not directly connected to the death of Private Domville. Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, Hugh Faulkner, says the commission has launched an investigation into the deaths of 3 persons in custody within less than a week. Mr. Faulkner says the deaths occurred between September 23 and 29. 2 of the incidents happened at the Halfway Tree police station.
In 2 of the 3 incidents, the deceased remandees were held at the Halfway Tree police station. On September 23, 2024, Mr. David Satchel, 59 years old, from Padmore District, St. Andrew, was reportedly found unresponsive in his cell. Mr. Satchel was transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors on duty pronounced him dead. On September 27, 2024, Mr. Donovan Phillips, aged 68, of a Beeston Street address, was reportedly observed to be in distress in his cell. Mr. Phillips was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead by the doctor on duty.
Mr. Faulkner says the 3rd incident occurred at a police station in Portland.
In the 3rd case, Mr. Patrick Perry, who on September 21, 2024 was remanded by the court and being held at the Buff Bay police station, was reportedly assaulted while in custody. That investigation is in progress. Mr. Perry, who was severely injured, was taken to the Anata Bay Hospital and later transferred to the KPH, where he succumbed to his injuries on September 29, 2024.
Hugh Faulkner, Commissioner of Indicom. Meanwhile, Mr. Faulkner says over 20 charges have come as a result of investigations by Indicom between the start of the year and September 19.
On conclusion of any investigative process, the requisite cases are submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for a ruling. For the period January 1 this year to September 19 this year, 2024, the Director of Public Prosecutions has handed down rulings for charge in 22 cases investigated by Indicom. These cases involve JCF officers, Department of Corrections officers, and JDF personnel.
Hugh Faulkner, Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Punchinella, little fella, taste the beat, summer promotion there. Who's gonna win this $1 million? You have a chance to win, my you just follow.
Win $1 million in the Tasty Beat summer promotion. Purchase any Tasty Cheese product for a chance to enter. Find our Tasty Beat flyer, scan the QR code, upload your receipt with your Tasty Cheese, fill in the other details, and that's it. Plus each week, win $60,000 and other small prizes from Tasty Cheese. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Best dressed chicken Vienna sausages with no antibiotics. Everything you want in a tin. Nothing you don't want can't find in a it. Take a look at the best value. Where you cook Vienna me a look. Only the best around. Only the best around. Only the best dress, best taste, best value, best place. Best dress, yeah, Vienna. Best dressed chicken Vienna sausages ever. 100% chicken straight Jamaican I eat.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, CARICOM has reaffirmed its unwavering support for the candidacy of Albert Ramdin for the post of Secretary General of the Organization of American States, OAS, for the period 2025 to 2030. Ramdin is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Business, and International Cooperation of the Republic of Suriname. He previously served 2 terms as Assistant Secretary General. CARICOM says Ramdin's distinguished regional and international leadership roles, his diplomatic acumen, and demonstrated competence renders him the ideal choice to guide the OAS. The elections are set for March 2025. To international news now, in his first public address since Israel assassinated the group's chief Hassan Nasrallah last week, Hezbollah's deputy leader says that the movement is ready to confront any Israeli ground invasion of Lebanon. He says Israel will not achieve its goals. Israeli forces have dealt multiple blows to Hezbollah in a 2-week wave of attacks on targets in Lebanon that has eliminated several commanders. Meanwhile, the Palestinian militant group Hamas says an Israeli airstrike killed its leader in Lebanon in the city of Tyre on Monday. Another Palestinian organization said 3 of its leaders died in a strike in central Beirut, the first such hit inside the capital's limits. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Just touched down on the island. Popeye's wings and styler. Roll up in at the venue. Brand new thing on the menu. Wing the alarm for the ghost pepper. Nice. On the barbecue and the sweet and spicy. Wing the alarm flavor them take off. Yo, Popeye's wings are the right breed. See them so we do. Popeye's wings touchdown in Jamaica. Bag of flavors. Brand new thing on the menu. Roll up in the venue. Tell them my style of send you.
Love that chicken from Popeye.
Yes, Kemlani Mart is making deals.
Really? Deals like what?
On scratch, dented, new furniture and appliances.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. Kemlani Mart has tiles, toilets, doors at crazy low prices.
So I can make a deal on a sofa set?
Of course, and dining room sets, outdoor furniture, ACs and more. No reasonable offer will be refused.
Only at Kemlani Mart, Manor Center and 77 King Street.
I love this place, you see.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Time now for your morning sports report. Defending champions Cavalier beat 10-man Waterhouse 2-0 in the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League at the Anthony Spalding Complex on Sunday. Jalmara Calvin gave the Rudolph Sweet coach Desai the lead in the 12th minute. Dwayne Atkinson doubled their lead in the 35th minute. Waterhouse lost their captain and goalkeeper Kamar Foster to a red card in the 32nd minute. In the late game at the same venue, hosts Arnott Gardens came from behind to earn a 1-1 draw with promoted club Racing United. Meanwhile, Harbourview recorded their second consecutive win of the season, beating Malines United 2-1 at the Harbourview Stadium. Okasa Chong scored both goals for the Stars of the East, while Jason Wright scored for Malines. And 10-man Ver United held Humber Lion to a 1-1 draw at the Wembley Centre of Excellence. In today's fixtures, Chapelton Maroons play Montego Bay United and Portmore United take on Tivoli Gardens at the Anthony Spalding Complex. The South Coast derby between hosts Bournemouth and Southampton draws the curtain on match day 6 in the English Premier League. The Saints have found life hard since returning to the top flight and claimed their only point so far in a 1-1 draw with Ipswich Town. Meanwhile, Manchester United were beaten 3-0 by Spurs on Sunday, while Ipswich and Aston Villa played out a 2-2 draw. Finally, in your morning sports, overseas players who make themselves unavailable for an IPL season after being bought at an auction without legitimate reasons will henceforth be penalized with 2-year bans. The request to act against players opting out after being bought at auctions had come from all 10 IPL franchises during their meeting with the IPL Governing Council in July. Disgruntled at their plans being thrown into disarray by late pullouts, the franchises asked the IPL to put in strong deterrents. And that's it for your morning sports.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters. The go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works. Workers. People who are powerful because they power through. Day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power, it's not something you can buy or collect. It is something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snack Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
The Coconut Industry Board is encouraging all registered farmers to make contact with their advisory officers and complete the Farmers Damage Assessment Form. Forms should be submitted to the advisory officers before the 31st of October 2024. While the industry was not severely affected by Hurricane Beryl, significant tree and knot loss was reduced. The CIB will provide additional replacement seedlings and fertilizer based on the calculated damage assessment triggers.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
In business this morning, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has blocked a landmark artificial intelligence AI safety bill, which had faced strong opposition from major technology companies. The proposed legislation would have imposed some of the first regulations on AI in the U.S. Newsom said the bill could stifle innovation and prompt AI developers to move out of the state. Senator Scott Wiener, who authored the bill, said the veto allows companies to continue developing an extremely powerful technology without any government oversight. The bill would have required the most advanced AI models to undergo safety testing. It would have forced developers to ensure their technology included a so-called kill switch. This would allow organizations to isolate and effectively switch off an AI system if it became a threat. It would also have made official oversight compulsory for the development of so-called frontier models or the most powerful AI systems. Now, the BBC has found signs that victims of modern slavery were being forced to work at a McDonald's branch in a factory supplying bread products to major supermarkets. The BBC says the situation was missed for years. A gang forced 16 victims to work at either the fast food restaurant or the factory, which supplied Asda, Co-op, M&S, and Sainsbury's, Tesco, and Waitrose. Well-established signs of slavery included paying the wages of 4 men into one bank account, were missed while the victims from the Czech Republic were exploited over more than 4 years. McDonald's UK said it had improved systems for spotting potential risks, while the British Retail Consortium said its members would learn from the case. Finally now, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar will open trading today, selling for an average $158.71 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. The Jamaican dollar opens trading today, selling for an average $117.94 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican will open trading this morning, selling for an average $214.19 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:27.
I've been hearing about this constitutional reform thing. You know anything about it?
Yes, constitutional reform is a chance for us to Jamaicanize the constitution.
But how?
Enough things changed since 1962 and we have matured as a nation. So modernizing the constitution will reflect our current societal values.
Oh, a constitution for Jamaicans, approved by Jamaicans.
Are you ready for the journey? Join us on the road to Republic. Think independence, think Republic. A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
Don't miss Info Exchange's Business Cloud Forum, October 1 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Global technology leaders, Nutanix, IBM, HPE Aruba, Zerto, and Exagrid will be here sharing insights and live demos. Discover how AI is reshaping industries and increasing efficiencies. Learn proven technologies to build operational resilience and protect your business from disruption. Register now at infoexchangeja.com. Info Exchange, smart technology, better business.
Halfway through Balmoral, Slipe Road, Papine. Halfway through Balmoral, Slipe Road, Papine.
You alright?
Yeah, just trying to map out all the National Bakery Wholesale locations. So anyway, me there in Kingston, we can pull up on a National Wholesale and get me bread and snacks cheaper than anywhere else.
But Bread Boss, you forget one. The newest one at that, with whole heap of parking. 3 miles, 207 Hagley Park Road.
Wow, another one?
National Wholesales, where every deal's a steal. It's always national.
Are you ready for a patio makeover you can afford? Then come to Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills in Montego Bay. We now offer a new line of beautiful, truly affordable furniture that will make your outdoor space look amazing. And you won't find it anywhere else at these prices. Get that high-end look that is sure to impress, easy in-store financing, and island-wide delivery options too at Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills, Witter Village Mall, Montego Bay, and ParadisePatioJamaica.com.
Does your bra ride up your back? Do your shoulders hurt from carrying the weight of your breasts? These are signs of an ill-fitting bra. When was the last time you were fitted by a bra fit specialist? The bra experts at LaBelle Femme will take care of you. Drop into the store at 53 Lady Musgrave Road, Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 to 5, and you will see the difference. Or call 876-622-6091. Calling all fishermen in Jamaica. We are in the hurricane season. Weather changes are more frequent and you need your daily marine weather forecast to keep you informed of these changes. Hurry and register now with the Jamaica Fishermen Cooperative Union Limited. They will see that you get your daily marine report on time. Visit them at 44 Beechwood Avenue or call 876-968-0411. Don't delay.
Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide This Morning, NTM. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us. It is Monday, September 30, 2024. And the last day of September. Heading on over into October tomorrow. If it is that you wanted to do something that needed to be done in September, you don't want it to go over into October, this is your last day. September 30 is also the day of the by-election out there in Northeast St. Anne. Our team will be on the ground, already on the ground. I did just see a picture or two in our WhatsApp news space, George.
Oh.
So,
Can you know that did I go?
So the team already on the ground, and we'll be bringing coverage of what's happening in Northeast St. Anne today for that by-election. But I'm Tona Thomas.
And my name is George. Good morning, Tona.
Morning to ya. Had a good weekend?
Yes, and I had a weekend of work. I did some football last night. Some football commentary at Arnett Gardens. Arnett Gardens, the Junglists, my team.
Yeah.
And they played the second game of a doubleheader. The first game, Cavalier beat Waterhouse 2-0. And then Arnett Gardens and Racing United, a newly promoted team. It was thrilling. And most of the thrills were provided by the racing team. It was a packed venue.
Yeah.
Fans came out to see their players, and the racing team has some players skillful, can man them bad. Yeah. And Arnett rose to the occasion in the second half to get the equalizer, so it was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They held them to the 1-1.
Yeah.
Our lead story at for the Sportscast,
yeah.
updating our peeps what's happening in the football world here in Jamaica.
Yeah, exuberant fans, we had to tell them to cut down on the invective because it was bleeding through. Yeah, but you know that
I
goes.
understand.
Yeah, you know that goes, yeah.
Good morning to our YouTubers as well. I see you guys as usual in your numbers. Hello to all of you. Hope that this Monday morning finds you in good spirits.
Yeah. Usually the opposition leader, who's the president, the chairman of Arden Gardens, he's there, but he wasn't there last night, so he missed a very good contest. Even though it ended 1-1, he would have enjoyed the football, the quality of play.
Yeah.
This morning, I've come about... All right, let me put it the different way. I'm come about 3 people this morning. I'm come about Chairman of the Integrity Commission, Seymour Panton. Founding Executive Director of National Integrity Action, Professor Trevor Monroe. And the PNP General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell. And there's a reason why I said it that way, that I'm come about them. Firstly, Chairman Panton. We've spoken ad nauseum in this forum about our respect for the gentleman. My personal respect for the gentleman runs deep. Admirer of his work and of the man he is. I'd like to ask you though, sir, how come on the eve of your appearance in Parliament this week, October 3, you have found words to comment on matters in the public domain concerning the Integrity Commission, when in other circumstances you had no words to offer? The comments made by you, as reported in the Gleaner yesterday, are reasonable, I believe, because your message to your staff at the Integrity Commission is not to cower in light of the things being said about the Commission and its work in the public domain, obviously because of the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. That's fine. As the top leader, it falls within your remit to communicate a message of calm to the people who work in support of what you do. But the question is still a fair one to ask. Why no? I know that you're a man of cricket, man of vast experience, and you know that a team in a test rolls the wicket to its advantage. It rolls the wicket in such a way so that when the toss is spun, and especially if it wins the toss, it can control the destiny of the game, especially the early part, by virtue of what it does. You roll the wicket, you bat first, you roll the wicket, you bowl first, and you look to extract an advantage. Are you seeking, sir, to extract an advantage heading into that discussion with parliamentarians later this week by virtue of the comments you made about how the IC will not bow in the wake of the criticism, trenchant criticism of its work in this matter concerning the Prime Minister. You've said to the Gleaner, quote, "It is clear to me, and until I see evidence to the contrary, there are members, politicians in brackets, who are saying things and doing things that are causing their supporters to be acting in the way they are doing by threatening and libeling members of the Commission as well as employees of the Commission," the Gleaner quotes you as saying. You go further. "I will not be intimidated by any of them." Even as Panton expressed that well-thinking colleagues of those politicians, quote, "have been silent. They are silent in relation to the attacks and the libel. They are very silent." Now, clearly, the fact of the silence of legislators rankles with the good chairman of the Integrity Commission to the extent that he's making it known in his message to the Gleaner. Silent used once, twice, 3 times in that message to the Gleaner. So silence in the wake of attacks and innuendo is a problem, right, Mr. Chairman? I'm happy you see it that way, that silence in the face of attacks and innuendo is a problem. Why then has the Commission been so silent over time as innuendo and attacks have been front-loaded, almost as if there are people shadowing every stroke of the pen of Kevin Stevenson as Director of Investigations? A ghost sitting at the keyboard of the Executive Director of Greg Christie, knowing everything Stevenson writes, knowing everything Christie types. And so, because they know, as ghosts they are, they come and they attend to the political platform, they go to other spaces, and they load up the innuendo and the aspersions, and they unleash them on the public. The IC silent. Don't tell me about the gag clause, because you're not gagged from commenting generally about the tone and texture around the work of the Integrity Commission in general. You are gagged from speaking specifics. So silence is a problem, Mr. Chairman, you recognize, because legislators are not speaking out against those of their colleagues who you believe are putting their supporters on the path to attacking the Commission. You have a problem with that silence. What of the silence of the Commission when people are looking to set the Commission's agenda and telling the country how to think? And on the matter of silence, Mr. Chairman, Ryan Evans, one of your directors, shot during an attempted robbery, the police say. You, I'm sure based on information you were given, felt strongly enough to write in the latest annual report of the Integrity Commission that the police appeared to be sleeping on the job. You said there were no nearby bushes in New Kingston, and yet, broad daylight the incident happened, the police hadn't given you an update on the situation. It put the police in a very bad light. Days later, Head of Crime and Security in the JCF, Fitz Bailey, came, set the record straight to say, well, it was your man who wasn't cooperating with the police investigations, which is why there was no update to make. And DCP Fitz Bailey's comments then had the effect of making you appear to be ill-informed, misguided, injudicious in your comments. And people wondered, well, wait, what's happening here? Did the good chairman of the IC know that the police were being stalled by Ryan Evans' failure to cooperate, but still wrote this? Or did he not know? I'm going with the not know, that you didn't know the true story. You were misguided. You were given information that wasn't accurate, and you went forward and you wrote a strong missive against the police in that section of your remarks to the annual report. Those comments were rebutted, were set straight. You were silent in the wake of that straightening out by Fitz Bailey. How come? So the fact of silence can also be extended to the way you have gone about your business in your role as chairman, retired Justice Seymour Panton. Nothing in the wake of apology, came from you in the moments after Greg Christie said, ask the government about the incident involving Ryan Evans. The IC did issue a statement on social media, but you could have used your words because they carry so much weight because of the respect that you command. You were silent. So I'm happy that silence is an issue for you, sufficient for you to comment on the silence of legislators not saying anything about the attacks that have been fomented by remarks their colleagues make and then their supporters running with it. The part of the Gleaner story which reports what was said to Kevin Stevenson, the Director of Investigations, and which they say will be reported to the police today. The comment, the quote, yes, nasty PNP boy, you must go down, old germs. Chairman Panton says he reported that to the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, who advised that it's the police who that report should be made to. Mr. Stevenson says he will report that to the police. That's what the Gleaner says he told them. Mr. Stevenson has a right, if he feels that any comment is a threat to him, if he interprets it in that way, then he has a right to make a report to the authorities. And I'm not challenging his right to go to the police with this or any other statement. I'll just say that in the Jamaica we live in now, where slangs and style run the dancehall space and bleeds into everything else we do, the phrase go down does not mean somebody wants to kill you. The phrase go down was popularized by a Rastafarian DJ named Ice Coolio, who had a hit song, underground hit some time ago. Where boy put in a chicken? Where boy put in a chicken? Talking about KFC and what the colonel put in the chicken, why it's so addictive. He's been huge on TikTok and social media with the phrase go down. So he'd look and say, Integrity Commission, when I hold up the Prime Minister's statutory declaration, come down now, when if you go down. So he'll use it as a refrain in social commentary. The climactic part of his commentary, saying that you must come down, you must go down, stop doing what you're doing, change course. That's the kind of thing he speaks of. And then, of course, a social media influencer whose comments were part of the highlight of the PNP conference, used by Damian Crawford. What can go so? Derek Morgan owned that phrase. Derek Morgan is also the one on social media who says, yeah, so you talk about say, me buy food with the money when we work for, you have to go down, you have to go, Rosalie, if you go down, this, that, if go down, and he entertains his people with the refrain, go down. So for somebody to say that, yes, nasty PNP boy, you must go down, old germs, you'd struggle to find any Jamaican who's aware of anything happening in the social space who would deem that to be a threat on your life. However, if Mr. Stevenson feels sufficiently threatened by that and wants to make a police report on that basis, I think he's free to do so. But context must be applied. And in context, go down doesn't mean that someone wants to kill you. It does not mean that. I've come about Dr. Dayton Campbell. Dr. Campbell, it's funny to me how in the advancement of your politics, you posture as if this campaign that you are pushing against the Prime Minister, which you ought to campaign against the Prime Minister in office if you're a member of the opposition party, it's your raison d'etre, yeah? But you say you're so committed and you're a passionate man. And what you say makes it seem as if, it's all about what's best for Jamaica, man. I'm just here campaigning for the betterment of Jamaica because we have a Prime Minister who's compromised, who shouldn't be in office, man. And it's all about Jamaica. I want Jamaica to be a better place. No, Dr. Campbell, you want the PNP to be in office. That's fine. We know this. You know this. I don't know why you dress it up otherwise, but if you are to market the message properly, who am I to tell you how to market your own message? I say this to you, though. In 2021, when damaging allegations were made against you sexual misconduct. Won't repeat the issue here. It's not necessary. Allegations of the kind that would cause people to not even call to you if they saw you in public, which would cause you to slink to the sidelines and not appear in public. Nasty allegations. I remember I did an interview with you, a TV interview, Scene TV, some years ago. And I said to you during one of the breaks that, boy, I'm commiserating with you in this time, because the thing I asked myself is, well, these allegations are so nasty, but what if they're not true? What damage to a man's reputation? And you said, boy, George, it's rough, but I'm going to fight my way through and prove that I'm innocent. Your party leader, Mark Golding, spoke out in your defense. And central to his defense of you, Dr. Campbell, was this, that there was no evidence. So there was no reason for him to kick you out as General Secretary. There was no reason to not support you anymore. Here's what Mark Golding said.
Nothing has been brought so far that warrants any action on his part. And it would be a disservice to the struggle of the women in this country if there could be a manipulation of somebody's life to his detriment on the basis of false accusations that have not been substantiated. If those accusations are proven to be true, or even if sufficiently credible evidence is brought to warrant a charge, then that's a different thing. That is not the situation here. And I'm asking Jamaica to think about it, because today for me, tomorrow for you. Same knife for stick sheep, stick goat. Justice must be at the center of what we do.
That's Mark Golding speaking out in your defense when everybody was saying that he should cut ties with you because the allegations were so nasty. 2021. In 2024, the court ruled those who had posted the nasty allegations against you should remove them forthwith. The court awarded you damages. You said at the center of this storm, people, the allegations are nasty, but there is no evidence I did anything wrong. Don't be led by the allegations. Be led by the facts. You will say, and your supporters will say, the evidence will show the facts in some way have borne you out. So why then, Dr. Campbell, should Jamaica proceed to convict the Prime Minister on allegations that have not been proven? Where is the evidence of what you say the Prime Minister is guilty of? Why should we have given you the doubt in light of bad allegations, but the Prime Minister wasn't get the same courtesy? Under the same knife, goat, joke, stick, sheep business this. You said, be led by the evidence, people. Don't watch the vitriol behind the allegations. Why must we not apply that principle in this case and let the evidence drive us as to what to do? And that me come about this morning.
Resolve your conflict peacefully with restorative justice. Call 876-906-4923. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
6:52.
We a big deal when we touch ground. Yeah, I can see when we're pulling up. Anything for the taste what we love. Barbecue, spicy and original, flavorful, crispy, irresistible. 3 piece with the fries and a Pepsi. Go get your one big deal, stop stress me. All when we dip on the toilet, no left foot.
Anything for the taste of a juicy, crunchy, irresistible KFC big deal. 3 pieces of delicious chicken, fries and Pepsi. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Live exquisite this year with new arrival black and chrome fixtures for your home at Unique Living. Select from a wide variety of rain shower systems, fabulous faucets, and stylish sinks to suit your kitchen and bathrooms. Get uncompromised quality and style unique to you. Shop everything new at Unique Living, Jamaica's leading shower and faucets provider. Visit shop number 630 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call 876-755-3661-2.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time now for Street Smarts with Ludlow McLean. If you realize, Ton, I left one out because the time ran out on me. But time to come. Morning, Lolo. What's on the streets now? What's the situation out there?
Morning, Tana.
Hey, to you, Ludlow.
Listeners, motoring public, the commuting public, all transport operators, morning time. It's bleak conditions again. It might clear up later, but so far it's quite busy from early this morning. Most of the major thoroughfares, Spanish Town Road, Washington Boulevard, exiting Portmore via Mandela Highway, and also heading towards the toll. Quite busy. The regular routes, Radius Road, Contextual Road, Shortwood Road, going towards Contextual Road and Boulevard to Dunrobin. Very busy at this point in time. It's our first support and very brief fun. It's back to you, George.
Thank you, Lord McLean there with Street Smarts 1. Up next, the word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Your word of the day, spelled H-A-U-G-H-T-Y, spelled H-A-U-G-H-T-Y.
Haughty. Haughty. Haughty.
Haughty is your word of the day, an adjective meaning disdainfully proud, scornfully arrogant. Haughty is your word of the day. Definition: disdainfully proud or scornfully arrogant. Dictionary.com is telling us that the word was first recorded between 1520 and 1530, between 1520 and 1530. To use haughty in a sentence: despite her humble beginnings, she adopted a haughty attitude once she gained wealth and power. Haughty is your word of the day, H-A-U-G-H-T-Y. Up next, your features at the top of the hour, the news.
Living Well is brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
Today on Living Well, the dangers of carbon monoxide. What is carbon monoxide? Carbon monoxide, CO, is a poisonous, colorless, odorless, and tasteless gas. Although it has no detectable odor, CO is often mixed with other gases that do have an odor. So, you can inhale carbon monoxide right along with gases that you can smell and not even know that CO2 is present. CO2 is a common industrial hazard resulting from the incomplete burning of natural gas and other material containing carbon such as gasoline, kerosene, oil, propane, coal, or wood. Forges, blast furnaces, and coke ovens produce CO, but one of the most common sources of exposure in the workplace is the internal combustion engine. As we walk about certain areas in and out of the corporate area, we see cars and trucks being worked on in private neighborhoods. Outside of the fact that this should not be happening, it is a very dangerous situation because of the risk of exposure to carbon monoxide, not to mention the burning of fuels for various reasons for some persons. Carbon monoxide can be particularly harmful to children. How does CO harm you? Carbon monoxide is harmful when breathed because it displaces oxygen in the blood and deprives the heart, brain, and other vital organs of oxygen. Large amounts of CO can overcome you in minutes without warning, causing you to lose consciousness and suffocate. Young children are especially vulnerable to the effects of carbon monoxide because of their smaller bodies. Children process carbon monoxide differently than adults, and they may be more severely affected by it and show signs of poisoning sooner. If we remember, there was an unfortunate death here when a mother ran a generator in the house and she was overwhelmed by the carbon monoxide fumes. Here are some things to consider to protect yourself and your family from carbon monoxide poisoning. Make sure your home has a carbon monoxide alarm. As with smoke alarms, install a carbon monoxide alarm on every level of your home, especially near sleeping areas, and keep them at least 15 feet away from fuel-burning appliances. Carbon monoxide alarms are not substitute for smoke alarms, and vice versa. Combination smoke and carbon monoxide alarms are available. Do not use a grill, generator, or camping stove inside your home, garage, or near a window. If you need to warm a vehicle, remove it from the carport or garage immediately after starting it. Don't leave a car, SUV, or motorcycle engine running inside a garage area. If using gasoline-powered devices, store gasoline in a locked location where children cannot access it. Keep only small quantities in an approved container that has a child safety feature. That's Living Well for today. Tune in next time for an early warning about opioids.
Living Well was brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
They say public speaking can make people so nervous. Let me try to help you to change that. Lifestyle Pages starts now, and I'm Tana. When you're at the lectern, don't start speaking right away. Take a couple seconds to relax and observe your audience. Show up knowing in your head the information you're about to present must be heard, and deliver it. Make eye contact with members of your audience, as many as you can. Don't speak too fast. Take your time. Be conversational. You see all that nervousness you're building up? Turn it into excitement. And when you're done, thank your audience for listening and walk confidently from the stage. You did well. I'm Tana, and that was your Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
From Negril Point to Morant Bay, a little kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston or Bay. The temperature by National Supply is...
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news this morning at 7, Monday, September 30, 2024, it's by-election day in Northeast St. Anne. The EOJ says it expects a smooth process for today's polls, and Indicom says it has laid 20 charges from investigations since the start of the year. In international news, Hezbollah says it's ready for any Israeli land invasion in Lebanon.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Registered voters in Northeast St. Anne will head to the polls today to choose their next Member of Parliament. The JLP's Matthew Samuda, the United Independent Congress's Chase Neal, and independent candidate David Fritz Anderson are vying for the seat that became vacant on September 3 following the resignation of sitting MP Marsha Smith. Mahira Stewart has a timeline of events.
The governing JLP has been hemorrhaging support in Northeast St. Anne for the last few years. Smith had replaced JLP stalwart Shahini Robinson as the party's caretaker for the constituency in May 2020, following Robinson's death. But support for MP Smith quickly waned. She faced pressure from her own supporters, who protested against her, calling for her removal. Smith officially walked away as MP for the constituency on September 3, 2024. This made the Northeast St. Anne seat, one held by the JLP since March 2001, vacant. The following day, Prime Minister Andrew Holness made a surprise appearance at a post-cabinet media briefing to announce that a by-election would be held on September 30 to determine the constituency's next MP. Nomination day for the by-election was set for September 11. Following the Prime Minister's announcement, the opposition People's National Party, PNP, declared that it would not be contesting the Northeast St. Anne by-election or any other by-elections held in the lead-up to the next general election. The next general elections are due next year. PNP President Mark Golding described the Prime Minister's move as a slap in the face of the electorate. Nomination day came, and outside of Matthew Samuda, independent candidate David Fritz Anderson, who is also called 5 Pound, was confirmed as a nominee on the ballot. But by the close of nomination day proceedings on September 11, there were 3 candidates. Despite initially struggling to find 10 registered voters from the constituency needed to complete the nomination process, Chase Neal of the United Independence Congress eventually became the 3rd candidate for the seat. Residents of Northeast St. Anne will elect their choice today. Will Samuda continue the JLP's dominance in the constituency it has held for 23 years? The findings from the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools have revealed that the PNP has the upper hand in St. Anne, and the party doesn't even have a candidate on the ballot. The poll, conducted between September 6 and 19, sampling 1,246 respondents, shows that the governing JLP is 10 percentage points down in the parish. When asked which party's candidate they would vote for were the general elections to be held today, 36% said the PNP, while 26% said they'd vote JLP. The nationwide Blue Dot poll powered by Total Tools has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. Can Matthew Samuda hold the seat for the JLP? Or could growing support on the ground for the PNP translate into votes for the UIC's Chase Neal and independent candidate David Fritz Anderson? Who will be the new Member of Parliament for North East St. Anne? Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
And the EOJ is expecting a smooth process for today's by-election in North East St. Anne. The Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown, is urging voters to walk with their identification cards, as this will make the voting process more efficient.
Well, tomorrow is the by-election. We have the polling stations open at 7 and close at 5 p.m. We will start the voting process at that time. And we anticipate a small, very smooth day. We just ask person again, just as a reminder, that electors walk with their ID card. It assists the process for it to flow more freely and ensure that they're able to do the process each elector as quick as possible.
That's Glasspool Brown, the Director of Elections. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness, speaking in Northeast St. Anne on Friday, says Shahini Robinson endorsed Matthew Samuda as her successor in the seat.
When she was ill, I had the opportunity to travel with her, and we were talking about who could be a good successor for the seat. And we both agreed that younger Matthew Samuda would be a good successor. He wasn't ready at the time, but now he is ready. He had the blessings of Shahini Robinson.
That's Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Meanwhile, the head of Samuda's communication campaign team in Northeast St. Anne, Senator Abka Fitzhenley, says that the JLP is expecting a strong showing from the candidate.
As far as the Jamaica Labour Party is concerned, all is set for today by election day in Northeast St. Anne. Our candidate Matthew Samuda is optimistic. He has put in the work. He has led a campaign underpinned by effective and positive messaging, telling the people of the constituency what he intends to do to make better their lives. Two independent candidates, one said to be a surrogate of the opposition party. We take nothing for granted. We intend to execute, bring out the votes, that at the end of the day, when they are counted, Matthew Peter Samuda will have the opportunity to build on the great legacy of Shahini Elizabeth Fakuri Robinson in a constituency which is near and dear to the hearts of many of us here in the Jamaica Labour Party.
Senator Abka Fitzhenley. Meanwhile, independent candidate in Northeast St. Anne, David Fritz Anderson, says he and his team have done as much work as possible as he prepares for the opening of polls this morning.
I'm confident. I'm going into it. The work is already done. I mean, you know, we what we put in, is just for the people to exercise their rights now, and we are fully geared and ready to run. I think I have a short tenure, but we put in as much work as we could, and the people are feeling us. So actually, the results will be shown at the end of the day.
David Fritz Anderson, independent candidate in Northeast St. Anne, and polls would have opened about 7 minutes ago. Today, September 30, is the final day for persons to be registered to be on the next voters list. That list is due to be published on November 30 this year. The Director of Elections is Glasspool Brown.
All right, for persons who want to be on the next updated list to be published at the end of November, tomorrow the last day, tomorrow being Monday, October 30th, the last day that they can seek to be registered for them to be on that list. I don't think there will be any extension. I think that's a timeline that has been set or given to us by the commissioners administratively. And as far as I'm aware, we will seek to maintain that timeline. So tomorrow, October 30th, is the final day for registration for the list to be published in November.
Glasspool Brown, Director of Elections. 349 names were added to the list last Saturday. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF says reports alleging that one of its members was arrested in connection with the killing of Jamaica Defence Force Private E.J. Domville are false. The JCF says no serving member has been taken into custody. The police apprehended a 31-year-old resident of Charles Street last Saturday, September 28. He was taken to the headquarters of the Major Investigation Division for questioning. The JCF says the suspect was dismissed as a trainee over 2 years ago following an incident. It says the suspect's arrest is not directly connected to the death of Private Domville. Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, Hugh Faulkner, says the commission has launched an investigation into the deaths of 3 persons in custody within less than a week. Faulkner says the deaths occurred between September 23 and 29. 2 of the incidents happened at the Halfway Tree police station.
In 2 of the 3 incidents, the deceased remandees were held at the Halfway Tree police station. On September 23, 2024, Mr. David Satchel, 59 years old, from Padmore District, St. Andrew, was reportedly found unresponsive in his cell. Mr. Satchel was transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors on duty pronounced him dead. On September 27, 2024, Mr. Donovan Phillips, age 68, of a Beeston Street address, was reportedly observed to be in distress in his cell. Mr. Phillips was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead by the doctor on duty.
Commissioner Faulkner says the 3rd incident occurred at a police station in Portland.
In the 3rd case, Mr. Patrick Perry, who on September 21, 2024, was remanded by the court and being held at the Buff Bay police station, was reportedly assaulted while in custody. That investigation is in progress. Mr. Perry, who was severely injured, was taken to the Anota Bay Hospital and later transferred to the KPH, where he succumbed to his injuries on September 29, 2024.
Meanwhile, Mr. Faulkner says over 20 charges have come as a result of investigations by INDECOM between January 1 and September 19 this year.
On conclusion of any investigative process, the requisite cases are submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for a ruling. For the period January 1 this year to September 19 this year, 2024, the Director of Public Prosecutions has handed down rulings for charge in 22 cases investigated by INDECOM. These cases involve JCF officers, Department of Corrections officers, and JDF personnel.
Hugh Faulkner, Commissioner of INDECOM. Starting this week, the National Works Agency NWA says it will be ramping up activities to patch several potholes that have emerged along major corridors amid recent heavy rainfall. The Manager of Communications and Customer Services at the NWA is Stephen Shaw.
We have had a lot of rain right across the country, and that has exposed several main corridors in the form of potholes being developed, and these have been creating some unease for the motoring public. We do have a plan of action that we have started to do some work. We intend to ramp up the activities from this week going forward right across the country as we try to reduce the experience of persons encountering potholes, especially along major corridors.
Shaw says some of the roadways are beyond their design life and did not benefit from intervention in the recent past.
It's very easy for persons to say it is the material that is bad that has caused a pothole to develop along a particular corridor. Well, if you should look at the history of some of these roads, they would have been way beyond their design life and would have required some intervention that they did not get. Hence, you will find several areas really popping up because cracks had emerged. Those cracks were never sealed, and they develop into holes subsequently, which then, when it rains, become even worse.
That's Stephen Shaw, the Manager of Communication and Customer Services at the NWA. Some regional news now. CARICOM has reaffirmed its unwavering support for the candidacy of Albert Ramdin for the post of Secretary General of the Organization of American States, OAS, for the period 2025 to 2030. Ramdin is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Business and International Cooperation, in the Republic of Suriname. He previously served 2 terms as Assistant Secretary General. CARICOM says Ramdin's distinguished regional and international leadership roles, his diplomatic acumen, and demonstrated competence renders him the ideal choice to guide the OAS. The elections are set for March 2025. Further afield now, in his first public address since Israel assassinated the group's chief Hassan Nasrallah last week, Hezbollah's deputy leader says the movement is ready to confront any Israeli ground invasion of Lebanon. He says Israel will not achieve its goals. Israeli forces have dealt multiple blows to Hezbollah in a 2-week wave of attacks on targets in Lebanon that has eliminated several commanders. Meanwhile, the Palestinian militant group Hamas says an Israeli airstrike killed its leader in Lebanon in the city of Tyre on Monday. Another Palestinian organization said 3 of its leaders died in a strike in central Beirut, the first such hit inside the capital's limits. Still on the international front, Switzerland and Italy have redrawn part of their border in the Alps due to melting glaciers caused by climate change. Part of the area affected will be beneath the Matterhorn, one of Europe's tallest mountains, and close to a number of popular ski resorts. Large sections of the Swiss-Italian border are determined by glacier ridgelines or areas of perpetual snow. However, melting glaciers have caused these natural boundaries to shift, leading to both countries seeking to rectify the border. Switzerland officially approved the agreement on the change on Friday. Italy is yet to do the same. This follows a draft agreement by a joint Swiss-Italian commission back in May 2023. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:15.
Attention motorists. It's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East-West. The T-Tag system reduces the amount of cash handled at our toll plazas and makes it safer for our staff and motorists at the toll booths. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient, and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience. T-Tag packages are discounted to only $1,500, including a $500 toll credit from now until September 30.
The Coconut Industry Board is encouraging all registered farmers to make contact with their advisory officers and complete the Farmers Damage Assessment Form. Forms should be submitted to the advisory officers before the 31st of October 2024. While the industry was not severely affected by Hurricane Beryl, significant tree and knot loss was reduced. The CIB will provide additional replacement seedlings and fertilizer based on the calculated damage assessment triggers.
Yes, Kemlani Mart is making deals.
Really? Deals like what?
On scratch, dented, new furniture and appliances.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. Kemlani Mart has tiles, toilets, doors at crazy low prices.
So I can make a deal on a sofa set?
Of course, and dining room sets, outdoor furniture, ACs and more. No reasonable offer will be refused.
Only at Kemlani Mart, Manor Center and 77 King Street.
I love this place, you see.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Ludlow, update from the streets, mate. Please do, sir.
Morning again, George, and listeners, motoring public. I just it's still overcast, and I believe it will remain so for a little while. But the roadways remain busy. However, it is noticeable that there are some areas that if you want to escape the traffic, for example, if you're on Chisholm Avenue, you want to go onto Lyndhurst Road, you can go through, if you know these places, like Walker Avenue, which runs off Beechwood Avenue, then from there it takes you to the bottom of Beechwood, then you go across to a road called East Avenue off Lyndhurst Road, then back onto Russell Road, and then you'll find it. But when you're trying to make it up to Russell Road, you're going to have some issues with traffic going all the way up into the Crossroads area. And the Half-a-Tree Road has been busy this morning, heading towards the Crossroads area. And much of Half-a-Tree Square is busy as in if you're going in other areas like around Barbican Road, going around to East Kings Road, all these areas have vehicular traffic at this point in time. So it's quite a busy morning, and let's see what happens. I know that after 9 and even minutes to 10, you'll definitely have traffic all the way. But for the time being, busy at most intersections at this particular point in time. So over to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow McLean with Street Smarts 2. Up next, Front Page.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide This Morning, NTM. Now tuned into our discussion segment, the front page. The focus of the front page this morning, the by-election in Northeast St. Anne. It's by-election day in that constituency, and polling stations opened at 7 a.m. 3 candidates are vying to be the next Member of Parliament for the constituency. They are the Jamaica Labour Party's Matthew Samuda, the United Independence Congress Chase Neal, and independent candidate David Fritz Anderson. The seat became vacant on September 3, following the surprise resignation of sitting government MP Marcia Smith. Mahira Stewart goes over the timeline of events.
The governing JLP has been hemorrhaging support in Northeast St. Anne for the last few years. Smith had replaced JLP stalwart Shahini Robinson as the party's caretaker for the constituency in May 2020, following Robinson's death. But support for MP Smith quickly waned. She faced pressure from her own supporters, who protested against her, calling for her removal. Smith officially walked away as MP for the constituency on September 3, 2024. This made the Northeast St. Anne seat, one held by the JLP since March 2001, vacant. The following day, Prime Minister Andrew Holness made a surprise appearance at a post-cabinet media briefing to announce that a by-election would be held on September 30 to determine the constituency's next MP. Nomination day for the by-election was set for September 11. Following the Prime Minister's announcement, the opposition People's National Party, PNP, declared that it would not be contesting the Northeast St. Anne by-election or any other by-elections held in the lead-up to the next general election. The next general elections are due next year. PNP President Mark Golding described the Prime Minister's move as a slap in the face of the electorate. Nomination day came, and outside of Matthew Samuda, independent candidate David Fritz Anderson, who is also called 5 Pound, was confirmed as a nominee on the ballot. But by the close of nomination day proceedings on September 11, there were 3 candidates. Despite initially struggling to find 10 registered voters from the constituency needed to complete the nomination process, Chase Neal of the United Independence Congress eventually became the 3rd candidate for the seat. Residents of Northeast St. Ann will elect their choice today. Will Samuda continue the JLP's dominance in the constituency it has held for 23 years? The findings from the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools have revealed that the PNP has the upper hand in St. Ann, and the party doesn't even have a candidate on the ballot. The poll, conducted between September 6 and 19, sampling 1,246 respondents, shows that the governing JLP is 10 percentage points down in the parish. When asked which party's candidate they would vote for were the general elections to be held today, 36% said the PNP, while 26% said they'd vote JLP. The nationwide Blue Dot poll powered by Total Tools has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. Can Matthew Samuda hold the seat for the JLP? Or could growing support on the ground for the PNP translate into votes for the UIC's Chase Neal and independent candidate David Fritz Anderson? Who will be the new Member of Parliament for Northeast St. Ann? Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Thank you so much, Mahiri. And Rodney Campbell and the Nationwide team are on the ground in Northeast St. Ann, and Rodney is joining us now to set the scene of what's happening for by-election day. Good morning to you, Rodney.
Good morning, Tana, and good morning, George.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. Set the scene for us, Rodney. What are you seeing so far?
All right, well, the moment we got into St. Ann, we decided to start off with what 2 polling stations, which tend to be more popularly used, more, a greater crowd. That's the Ocherios Primary School and the Ocherios High School. There's also the library, which is literally beside the primary school. It's a very unusual kind of setup for St. Ann, because if you're familiar, for those familiar with the elections, you don't usually find a lot of polling stations very close together. But what we saw was that the Ocherios Primary School was looking active. They had set up a tent on the outside, and quite a few people were gathering. It was obvious at the primary school that the flow as well was increasing. We left there and headed over to Exchange, where we came to the Exchange All-Age School, and right across the street, incidentally, is the office of Matthew Samuda, who is the JLP candidate. And though they just opened, we had interviewed a gentleman a while ago he was the first person who cast his vote as soon as it opened. We spoke with him and sent in that his name is Alfonso Arias. Yes. So it looks like it's going to be pretty much an interesting day. We have not seen any signs of anybody who claims to be supporting, other people, the other 2 candidates.
Yeah.
But it's slightly overcast. I suspect that in another 2 hours, we might get a little bit of drizzles, and we're prepared for that as well. We're going to be leaving here shortly and heading out to closer to that St. Ann's Bayside,
Roy Forrester taught you well, Rodney. Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Do you know if any and which of the 3 candidates has a vote in the constituency?
No, not yet. We're trying to figure out. I had seen Matthew Samuda earlier, but he was busy up and down, so he promised to give us an interview. We're seeking to also find Chase Neal and David Fritz Anderson, who is also known popularly as 5 Pound, to find out where it is that they're supposed to be voting, so we can give you an update and find that polling station.
Oh, so based on what you're saying then, based on what I know, I don't think Samuda has a vote in the constituency, but you're saying that Anderson and Neil may have a vote.
As far as I know,
yes.
Both of them are, I know for sure that the one, Anderson, who is called 5 Pound, is a native of St. Ann. So one would imagine. I'm not so sure about Mr. Neil because he's actually, I think, from St. Mary.
Yes.
But we being from St. Mary does not
it doesn't mean
make
that.
him. Yeah, so
yeah,
we have to find out.
So based on the preliminary information I have, at least one of the 3 candidates has a vote.
Have a vote here. Yeah.
Has a vote in the constituency.
Yes, but early though it is, the mobilization of supporters seems to be building up. You know, it's early in the morning.
Yeah, man.
You know,
at the voting centers at the High Ocho primary and at the library, we just saw some footage that you sent. We just showed it to our YouTube viewers, and I saw a line with about 2 or 3 ladies in it. Did you do a count of the number of people you saw lined up at any of the centers early doors to see how many people would have done their business so far with 29 minutes since polls opened?
Well, what we saw at Ocho High, Ocho primary, it looked like we were seeing about on the outside waiting to come in because they had not necessarily that when we did that shot, they hadn't officially opened yet, but there were about 28, 30 people who were waiting to be on the inside.
Oh, just as if they were going to work and wanted to get this out of the way?
Apparently.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, you can't really discount those who are also in their colors.
Yes.
Because I suspect the fact that they're perched quite nearby, they are not just there to, you know, to shadow the skies, but they also do plan to walk in. So the first one we've actually been at that has active voting is the Exchange All Age. So we'll be going back, passing back the primary, Ojo's primary and High, but heading out to Priory side to see and going up to Chalky Hill and that kind of thing to get a much wider base. Interestingly, as large as the constituencies, it's probably second or third largest out of all the constituencies you can think of. Interestingly, when it comes to polling stations, the pool of them tend to be sort of close. So it's not...
The distribution isn't wide.
No, it isn't.
Right.
So contrary to the size of the constituency, it's a little bit easier.
Which is good for you. You don't have to drive up and down all over the place, eh?
Well, I wouldn't say that, you know. You know, the producer has an eye for tourism and beaches. We've had to keep her in line to not go astray.
Hear you on that. Roddy, let me say this to you. They suppose close at 5, Tana. One would expect that with the number of votes that are expected to be cast today, within an hour, Rodney, we should have an exit result. We should have an idea of how.
I'm of the belief that by 6 o'clock or heading to 6:30, all things being fair, that the final count should have been made by then. Because obviously, especially on the basis that this is only one major political party.
Yeah.
The numbers, even though they're closing at 5, numbers should really be tabulated quite easily.
Well, I guarantee you it won't take 90 minutes to count these votes today.
I must point out something to yourself and Tana and our listeners and viewers. For those who don't understand, the eligible voters in this constituency number about 42,000. The last election had about 14,000 split between them. I think Marsha Smith got about 9,000 and Keith Brown got 4,800 and almost 4,900. So when you add those two together, out of a total possibility of over 40,000, if this is an indication of what we're going into as elections are held, it's really, the voter apathy is something that really needs to be addressed to find out what could possibly make eligible voting at 40,000, and you can't even catch 15,000 in a general.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking forward to seeing what the numbers are at the end of the day for all three, incidentally, because let us not forget that there are two other candidates in today's race.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll check back in with you later on, Rodney. Thanks for this initial report. And Rodney and the team, Rodney, Sonia, Kimarley, and Jamal are out in Northeast St. Ann, Forest Town. And they're going to be there all day because it doesn't make sense to come back into town, especially because a little bit of vote them will count. So we should know.
By the way, before we forget, the team wants to thank you personally, George, for the fact that you're, I won't call the name, but you've arranged for us, if we're here past 7, to stay in a quite luxurious property and all-inclusive. And that is impressive. I know we would not have received that kind of positioning from anyone else.
Yes.
But you.
Well, my auntie's up in Prairie and she has a room, so if the worst come to the worst, you can call her. She'll be happy to accommodate you.
This is where we take the cue and say, we'll speak to you later.
All right, sir. Thank you. Rodney Campbell and the team out there in Northeast St. Ann. Tana, was closing 5 o'clock.
Yes.
The vote them are going to done count before 6.
I think so too. Yeah.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:35.
Welcome to our Active Corner, brought to you by Active Home Center. Are you ready to upgrade your bathroom? It's time to choose the perfect toilet for your space. First, consider the size of your bathroom. Measure the space where the toilet will be installed so it fits comfortably. Also, decide if you'd want a standing toilet or one that floats from the wall to suit your style. Did you know toilets can conserve water too? Look for toilets with a green water sense label that uses less water when flushing. Also, consider soft close toilet seats that close slowly and quietly. Shop toilets in our showroom today. Tune in at this time for more from Active Home Center.
Learning can be fun. Reignite your passion for learning with the Jamaica Observer Online Study Center. Achieve your academic dreams and log on to complimentary CSEC and CAPE lessons tailored for your success in higher education. With over 9 subjects available online, the Study Center has you covered. Jump back into excellence this school term by checking out the Jamaica Observer Online Study Center each and every Tuesday at jamaicaobserver.com/study center.
Calling all fishermen in Jamaica. We are in the hurricane season. Weather changes are more frequent and you need your daily marine weather forecast to keep you informed of these changes. Hurry and register now with the Jamaica Fishermen Cooperative Union Limited. They will see that you get your daily marine report on time. Visit them at 44 Beechwood Avenue or call 876-968-0411. Don't delay.
Quick Cart is a new click. Get convenience at your fingertips. The reliable way to get your order quick. In the store or restaurants for your food fix. Quick Cart is a new click for sure. Click efficiency waiting in your app store. More than the plate, we're bringing you more. Order online and get it straight to your door. Tell a friend. Quick Cart is a new click. Tell them better make this one stick. Quick Cart delivery at the right pick. Good customer service, I forget it. Now serving Kingston and Montego Bay. Visit quickcartonline.com.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, or Focus, the by-election in Northeast St. Anne. We have been sharing some images and some footage on our YouTube channel showing you that members of the electorate down there in Northeast St. Anne trickling into their numbers, going out to cast their ballots early. Some of them, a reporter on the ground, Rodney, pointing out to us, some of them are people who work, so they're in their professional clothing want to get their voting done and be on their way. One of the things that the Electoral Office of Jamaica, the Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown, is reminding those voters, bring your ID. It just makes everything easier. So you don't have to go through that long process of swearing and all of that. You can just show your ID, get the process done, vote, and be on your way. So if you have your ID, bring it with you.
You know what's supposed to be nice now? So if you go early,
yes,
on your way to office, Tana, mark your X, and you go work, and then you tell your boss, I'm going to leave about 12 o'clock to vote. I never have to give you a couple of hours.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
you do that today, no?
You do have 3 hours.
Enough people
plus your lunch hour.
Yes.
To cast your ballots.
Work short today. I can hear Dennis Chung now talking about, boy, George, that's where productivity low in our country.
Dennis, you can make an exception for today.
Anyway, Tony, you have a by-election, a profile on Northeast St. Anne that we can go through?
We do have a profile on the Northeast St. Anne by-election and what has been happening in Northeast St. Anne over the years. So the constituency of Northeast St. Anne was first created in 1959. Yeah, so just before Jamaica gained its independence, and it quickly became a stronghold of the People's National Party after the party won it in the general election on July 28th of that year. The PNP's Edwin Tucker polled 6,570 votes to the JLP's S.A. Lambe's 3,272. Tucker retained the seat for the PNP in the next general election on April 10, 1962 as well. He polled 6,176 votes to Lambe's 4,422. Sedley Johns, who represented the People's Political Party, polled 130 votes. After facing each other twice, Tucker and Lambe were changed for the February 21 general election in 1967. Still, the PNP retained control.
Yeah, one of the legendary names in politics, Wills O. Isaacs. He won for the PNP. 984 votes was the margin between him and the JLP's Pat Burke. Wills O. Isaacs, he repeated the trick February 29, 1972. That was a leap year, obviously. This time, Wills O. Isaacs polled 6,421 votes, beating the JLP's Alwyn Joseph, who polled 3,552. New candidates in December 1976, the PNP's Vivian Blake, he polled 3,190 more votes than JLP's Robert Bobby Marsh. So he beat Bobby Marsh, Vivian Blake did in 1976, beat him by 3,190. And then 1980, a change.
Yeah, that year the JLP got its first taste of victory in Northeast St. Anne in that general election on October 30. That's 21 years since the constituency was created in 1959 and 5 elections in. Marsh polled 9,979 votes to Vinroy Brown's 6,941 for the PNP. 9 years later, in February 1989, Manly Bowen returned the seat to the PNP. He polled over 3,000 more votes than the JLP's Patricia Pink. The PNP's string of victories would continue in the 1993 general elections. On March 30, Bowen retained the seat, polling 1,535 more votes than the GLP's Robert McFarlane.
In 1997, Danny Melville of horse racing fame, he maintained the PNP's dominance in the December 18 polls of that year. He beat the JLP's Michael Bell-Navis and Osmond Tomlinson of Bruce Golding's National Democratic Movement, NDM. Belle Nevis is now the mayor of St. Anne's Bay, councillor for the Otrius division in Northeast St. Anne. After several PNP wins, the JLP went for the charismatic daughter of St. Anne, Shaheen Robinson, to contest the by-election in March 2001 in Northeast St. Anne. Robinson, a protege of the late former Prime Minister and JLP leader Edward Seaga, and much has been said about March 2001, and none of it has been overblown because Seaga's JLP was the PNP's beating stick. PJ Patterson running rings around the Labourites, and he just had Edward Seaga's ticket. Edward Seaga couldn't buy a vowel, let alone win an election against a PNP led by Percival James Patterson. But that March 2001 by-election, a move that turned the political tide, the selection of Shaheen Robinson and the subsequent result. They, JLP at that time, was in opposition for 12 years. Dispute after dispute, Seaga, one done in charge of the party. 6 years earlier, in 1995, his protege, Bruce Golding, walked out and formed the NDM. So in that 2001 by-election, March 8, Robinson took the seat for the JLP in what was a hotly contested by-election, and she polled 7,797 votes. 7,797. So the sevens have it for Shaheen Robinson. She beat the PNP's Carol Jackson, who came close, 7,324. And from that moment, Northeast St. Anne has been JLP territory. Robinson transformed it into the JLP stronghold, and so by the general elections, her first general election, 2002, she increased her majority from the 473 with which she won the by-election. That majority swelled to 1,174, the PNP's Carol Jackson falling short of Shaheen Robinson's total.
Yeah, and Jackson, who was a local political powerhouse for the PNP, was never to recover her strength in the area. Shaheen had pretty much retired her. Since then, Northeast St. Anne has been considered a safe seat for the JLP. To no one's surprise, Robinson retained the seat in 2007. In the September 3 general election, she defeated the PNP's Oswest Senior Smith by 2,022 votes. Another by-election date was set in 2010 after Robinson went through a formal renunciation procedure and obtained a certificate of loss of nationality. This after news broke that she was a naturalized U.S. citizen while sitting in the Jamaican Parliament. But despite that obstacle, Robinson went on to retain the seat on December 20. In another landslide victory, she polled 5,082 votes to the PNP's Devon Evans 1,081. As expected, Robinson was re-elected in the December 29, 2011 general elections. She polled over 1,000 more votes than the PNP's Paul Stewart.
Right, so Robinson again went to a general election in 2016. And she won February 25. Robinson died in 2020, and Northeast St. Anne was handed by the JLP to Marsha Smith, another daughter of the soil. She, of course, a child of the politician and attorney Ernest Smith. Marsha Smith won September 3, 2020, polling, she polled 9,169 votes. The PNP's Keith Brown polled 4,747. That should have been maybe 7,000, yeah? But Smith's one-term stint was marred by controversy. Many Labourites, the Labourites fell out with her. She lost control of the constituency organization, and she resigned with immediate effect on what would have been her 4th anniversary as MP on September 3. And now today, it is a 3-man race for that post of MP for Northeast St. Anne. Matthew Samuda for the JLP, David Fritz Anderson, an independent candidate, and the UIC's Chase Neal. Yeah, those are the 3 men vying for that title. All right, Michelle, should we share some elements? What do you have? We take the break, and when we come back, we'll share with you some audio and video that our team captured earlier today in Northeast St. Anne as folks get with the by-election program.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
7:48.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Are you burning up with this summer heat? The place hot, man. Get cool now with a Hisense air conditioner. With advanced energy-saving inverter technology and whisper quiet operation, beat this heat with Hisense. Available at Aliabra Brands Limited, 64 Hagley Park Road, or call 876-676-5951 now.
So good, so good. I got you.
The Coconut Industry Board is encouraging all registered farmers to make contact with their advisory officers and complete the Farmers Damage Assessment Form. Forms should be submitted to the advisory officers before the 31st of October 2024. While the industry was not severely affected by Hurricane Beryl, significant tree and knot loss was reduced. The CIB will provide additional replacement seedlings and fertilizer based on the calculated damage assessment triggers.
Attention motorists. It's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East West. Vehicles using the automated T-Tag lane are processed in seconds, so you can pass through the toll plazas far quicker. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient, and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience. T-Tag packages are discounted to only $1,500, including a $500 toll credit from now until September 30.
Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections are watchdogs for the electoral process, and our team caught up with a cafe member in Northeast St. Anne earlier on this Monday morning.
So we're here at the Ocharios Primary School, one of the polling stations in the Northeast St. Anne Division. And we're speaking with the chairman of Cafe, Grace Baston, who is here early with our team and expecting other people to come. So explain for those who don't know and remind those who do the role of Cafe and what you expect as, you know, the duties you will perform and what you expect on an election.
Okay, so just to remind everybody, Cafe Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections is a group of volunteers, an election monitoring group. We have been monitoring elections for a long time now. We recently did the local government elections, and our more recent thrust is to use senior students in high schools. So many of the volunteers we'll have today are graduates or still students of high schools in St. Mary and St. Anne. So what does CAFE do? CAFE's job is to ensure that the elections are conducted according to our law, that they are free, that they are fair, that all the procedures are followed. CAFE, of course, hopes, and it's our expectation that the day will go smoothly, especially because, as you know, one of the other major parties is not contesting the elections. So we don't expect, drama. However, we want to see that the EOJ officials, and we're confident, will carry out their duties again according to our law.
So CAFE works only inside the polling station, or you observe activities on the outside?
That's right. So we have two types of observers. We have our observers that are placed in the polling stations, actually monitoring the voting. They're there, and that's why we're here so early. They're there from the setup because they're required to report on the quality of that setup. Are all the materials in place? Is the polling station appropriate? Does it have access for the disabled? All of this they're going to report on by between 9 and 10:30 today. Then we have what we call roving observers. I will be doing that today. So I won't be in one polling station from 7 till 5, but I will be moving. I hope to see all of the 27 locations that there are in the constituency today.
Thank you very much, and we look forward, Ms. Boston, to having a free and fair election.
Absolutely. So do we. God bless you, Roger.
Take care.
Grace Baston, the former principal of Campion College and chairperson of CAFE, very important role they play, and we should support them every which way we can. And good to see her out and just outlining the process that their work will take, the course it will take today, and her expectations and what her group is prepared for on this Daytona.
Yeah, Nationwide also spoke with the mayor of Maypen and the councillor for the Denby division, Joel Williams, who is, of course, in the constituency today doing work for his party, the JLP.
Well, I'm Joel Williams, mayor of Maypen. I'm here today to participate on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party with responsibility for a cluster of PD here at the Ocherius High School.
What are those clusters?
Cluster 30, 24, 30, 31A and 31B.
All right. Outside of this location, is there any other location that you're going to be visiting?
Well, just up the road you have the Ocherius Primary School, which also consists of a number of clusters. My primary responsibility here today is to make sure I maximize the cluster that I have responsibility for. And my political father told me, where you are planted, that's where you are bound. So I will be here to make sure whoever are at the primary school, which is primary, they must make sure they deliver. I go and deliver where they ask me to be.
So for the uninitiated in politics and election protocol, when you say you're here to ensure, is it that you're here to watch what happens with the numbers of people, to make sure the boxes come and go as they should? What's
primary role is to make sure the votes gets in the box, or in the boxes that I have responsibility for. I look at the canvas, I know what our numbers are, and my responsibility is to make sure that those numbers get into the box.
Have you any preconceived idea of the numbers you're looking for at the end of the day come 5 o'clock?
I briefly looked at the numbers based on what I have seen or what was given to me. Remember, this is not my domain, so to speak. If it was my domain, I could flip it off.
You're a tourist.
Yes, I could
center.
flip it off.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting to maximize, as I've said before, the JLP votes in this cluster.
Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
All right, so we were having a conversation there about predictions and posters. So Joel Williams there on the ground doing some work for Matthew Samuda and talking about the imperative to get this one sewn up for the JLP. This would have been such a fascinating contest, Atona, and an insight into what is going to happen next year if the PNP had reported. But they say that on principle, they're not contesting any by-elections and they're keeping their powder dry until the Prime Minister announces the date for the next general election. And that's when their machinery will be cranked up. For the moment, they're fine-tuning in the garage, not rolling out the big beast just yet.
Yeah. Do we have another before we go to across Jamaica? This time, the first voter of the day. So let's take a listen to what that voter had to say.
The delegate of North East Centre and Exchange Division. And I was the first one to mark my X this morning. And I'm proud to be here early to display my rights. And I hope that today will be a successful day. I hope for the best, and I trust that we will have a fair and decent day, incident-free, and things will run smooth as the day proceeds.
Have you always been, for a person to come out this early, suggests that you're always pretty much involved in the process. How do you feel about the idea that so many people don't want to be involved in the election process?
Well, I think as a citizen of Jamaica, I think all of us should be involved in politics, because we have to, in the Bible teaches that we must choose able men to lead us and women. So, we have to understand that it is coming from the Bible. And if we don't have people on this earth to lead us, we cannot deal with God. You understand? We have to deal with the people who we see first. So I am here this morning to display my rights as a citizen, and I am feeling proud, and I'm feeling good.
All right. So your word to the people of Jamaica, especially young people who say they're disenchanted, what would you this morning say to them come the next general election and their approach and attitude towards voting?
Well, I would say to every young people, you need to exercise your right. It doesn't make sense you talk behind the screen. It's best you come out and exercise your right by voting. And it is there for all of us. Whichever side you're on, you come out and exercise your right. And you read and see what's going on, and then you can take it from there. You can choose, to the best. So God bless you.
Man says it's in the Bible, Tana.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8 o'clock.
Success, powered by learning. The temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us, is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Monday morning, I'm Tona Thomas. The National Housing Trust, NHT, says public sector pensioners may apply for its Smart Energy Grant from Tuesday, October 1, 2024 to Friday, October 4. The grant allows pensioners to access up to $1.5 million for a solar panel system. It will target 30 pensioners per parish each year, providing a total of $420 per year for the next 3 years. The NHT says beneficiaries will be selected following a needs-based assessment using preset criteria, including weekly earnings of less than $30,000 at the point of retirement. Pensioners may apply on the NHT's website at www.nht.gov.jm. They must be able to provide their TRN and NIS as well as their employment history during the application process. The Smart Energy Grant is part of a series of policy changes implemented by the NHT on July 1. Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Rhoda Moy Crawford, has renewed her call for residents to put their garbage in bags and bins to improve the turnaround time of truck collection. She says garbage that is not bagged or scattered delays routine collection schedules and results in a collection backlog.
I want to use this opportunity as well to appeal to constituents. Please, you have to start practicing proper containerization of your waste. I have gone out there with private trucks that I have contracted to remove garbage, and because the wastes are not properly containerized, what would take the operators 1 hour, 30 minutes is taking them 3 hours, 5 hours. So what that means, if they have a schedule to collect garbage from 10 communities, if one area is taking 2 hours, 3 hours, then understandably, the team is not able to move into other communities.
Rhoda Moy Crawford, MP for Central Manchester. The MP is also appealing to residents not to throw their garbage by the side of the road. She says the practice is dangerous for public health reasons and it contributes to flooding. She was speaking on Winston Jones Highway in Manchester last Thursday. Sections of the highway were among several roadways in the parish which were flooded by heavy rains. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Monday morning, and we now bring you the latest from across the Caribbean News Desk for today, Monday, September 30, 2024.
From the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning. I'm Dennis Chabrol.
And I'm Kendall Morgan with the latest from across the Caribbean.
Haiti has started to put things in place to hold elections before the end of next year. This confirmation has come from the country's Prime Minister Gary Conille, even as he implored the international community to increase support for the Kenya-led multinational security mission helping to restore stability to the country.
The government has already invested about $45 million, and by October we'll have $70 million of Haiti money invested in the electoral process, which is about half of what we think we'll need to be able to have a referendum on the Constitution by February and then elections by November. And we're quite confident with the assistance of our partners that we can do this, even though we know that we will not have the highest level of security, but we think we can work around that.
Kenya has announced plans to send 600 additional police officers to join the 400 already in Haiti. Jamaica, Belize, Barbados, the Bahamas, and Suriname are also contributing officers. The United States last week announced $160 million in additional support for the security mission and to build capacity in the Haitian police force.
A call for the International Decade for People of African Descent, which ends this year, to be extended for a further decade. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley issued a call on behalf of the Caribbean region during her address to this year's UN General Assembly.
My friends, we are reminded that 2024 is the final year of the United Nations Decade for the People of African Descent. Much has been achieved, but the recognition, the justice, and the development for people of African descent that was promised by this decade has, to say the least, not yet been fully realized. And it is for this reason that the Caribbean community joins the growing chorus, and my own country in particular, for the immediate proclamation of a second decade to complete the unfinished work and address the matter of reparations for slavery and colonialism.
The UN had proclaimed 2015 to 2024 as the decade for people of African descent, to be observed under the theme People of African Descent, Recognition, Justice and Development.
Trinidad and Tobago is criticizing those who oppose the enforcement of justice in a balanced manner by the International Court of Justice. Foreign Affairs Minister Emery Brown told the United Nations General Assembly that the ICC is valuable, effective, and necessary to help end impunity for perpetrators of the most heinous crimes and provide a glimmer of hope to victims.
Trinidad and Tobago condemns, rejects, and repudiates any and all attempts to impede, intimidate, or improperly influence the court and its very courageous officials.
An ICC prosecutor had requested arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on May 20 for war crimes and crimes against humanity in the Gaza Strip. U.S. President Joe Biden was among major leaders who had criticized the application for the warrants, saying they implied that Hamas and Israel were equal.
Grenada is sounding an international appeal for help to adapt to climate change. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell says due to the repeated impact of storms on economies, lives and livelihoods, Grenada and other small island developing states need more than just money.
As a region, we have a clear vision and a plan to harness technology, ranging from drones that assess storm damage to early warning systems that enhance our preparedness. But we cannot fund these projects alone. While nations like Grenada are doing our part, we need the international community to step up and support our efforts. We are asking for more than just financial aid. We are looking for partnerships where we can work together on climate adaptation. Because we believe the resilience we are building today, through technology, through innovation, through partnerships, can serve as a model for others.
He says Grenada cannot continue to build after every storm without seeking sustainable solutions such as financial tools and technologies.
1 million Eastern Caribbean dollars. That was among the gifts presented as St. Lucians wrapped up 4 days of homecoming celebrations for their Olympic champion, Julian Alfred. Prime Minister Philip Pierre.
We will name the Millennium Highway from cul-de-sac to Lattock roundabout the Julian Alfred Highway. We will construct a monument at the cul-de-sac roundabout in honor of Julian Alfred. We will issue a stamp in honor of Julian Alfred. We will print exercise books with pictures of Julian Alfred. The government will give her a piece of land measuring 10,720 square feet. And most of all, she will get from the people of St. Lucia $1 million.
Alfred won St. Lucia's first ever Olympic medals, gold in the 100 meters and a silver in the 200. This has been the morning edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp on +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.
This is a public service announcement from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The Ministry of Health and Wellness wishes to advise awardees of the Dr. Barrington Waite Memorial Scholarship Program that the deadline to complete their bonding agreement has been extended to Friday, October 18, 2024. Awardees who face challenges with meeting the requirements of their bonding agreement are encouraged to call the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service at 876-922-8600 or visit the office at 30 National Hero Circle, Kingston 4. They can also send an email to collet.mccausland@mof.gov.jm. That was a public service announcement from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The National Environment and Planning Agency is advising the public that the 2024 game bird shooting season ended on Sunday, September 22, 2024 at 9 a.m. Hunting of game birds during the closed season is strictly prohibited by the Wildlife Protection Act. Any person caught hunting during the closed season will be prosecuted. The deadline for completed Hunter's bird shooting report forms is December 31, 2024. Forms can be submitted to NEPA in person, by registered mail, or electronically using the Game Bird Hunters portal on the website. Report all illegal hunting to NEPA at 876-754-7540, toll free 888-991-5005, 119, or the nearest police station. A message from the National Environment and Planning Agency.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters. The go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works. Workers. People who are powerful because they power through. Day after day, challenge after challenge. You see, true power, it's not something you can buy or collect. It is something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snack Peanuts. Proud supporters of the powerful.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone, anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank, no waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents, all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
The Coconut Industry Board is encouraging all registered farmers to make contact with their advisory officers and complete the Farmers Damage Assessment Form. Forms should be submitted to the advisory officers before the 31st of October 2024. While the industry was not severely affected by Hurricane Beryl, significant tree and knot loss was reduced. The CIB will provide additional replacement seedlings and fertilizer based on the calculated damage assessment triggers.
8:15 on the clock on this Monday, by-election day in Northeast St. Anne. By-elections are usually low-octane affairs. The one all the way back in March 2001, though, wasn't low-octane as Shahini Robinson prepared to face Carol Jackson for the PNP in an election that they say revived Siaga's moribund JLP. But today, much different, as three men, Samuda, Neil, and Anderson, are looking to attract most votes in this by-election. The PNP absenting themselves from the race, and it's Samuda from the JLP, Anderson from an independent camp, and Neil from the UIC, who will be vying for the right to be called Member of Parliament. Glasspool Brown, the Director of Elections, is with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you this morning?
We are good. How are you?
I'm okay so far.
How is the team?
The team is okay. They are in place. They were in place from early. All the police stations were open, up and running. Quiet day so far.
Right, and you expect it to, well, I described it as low octane. Of course, you'll be guarded in how you describe it, but would you agree with me that you don't expect anything out of the ordinary over the course of the day?
I hope we have a quiet and peaceful day, but I hope the number of the person turn out to vote. We are prepared for, as you are aware, we are prepared for 40,000 persons to turn out. Because we normally, on our preparation, we prepare for 100% turnout. So we hope very peaceful day. We hope that the persons who are on the list for Northeast Centre will take advantage and come out and cast their ballot.
Yeah, the polls close promptly at 5, and how soon after the close of polls will your team start the tally?
Well, as soon as they close at 5, assuming nobody is in the line at that point in time, they start to do their close-up poll activity. So the prayer count, we anticipate that should be completed quite quickly. And I should have the final results. And I noticed I'm going to be careful in what I say. I said by 6:30.
Yeah.
By 6:30.
Yeah, we're not going to stoke up the fire of expectation. But just to clarify, Sir Glasspool, you're not keeping a running tab. You are just doing all counting once 5 o'clock comes.
Well, we are doing a running tab in terms of the turnout, but not in terms of the counts for each of the candidates, but more so in terms of the turnout figure. So we have a 12 o'clock report and we have a 3 o'clock report, looking at the voter turnout at that stage.
And if you could, Mr. Brown, as well, to remind us of the rules that are at play today for voting.
Well, basically, every person on the list are allowed to vote. Just as a reminder to employers that as long as the person is registered in Northeast St. Anne, they should be given their 3-hour time off. The law stipulates that, and it's expected that they be so given the 3-hour time off to come and cast their ballot. And also, just for the voting public, there are certain things that is not expected of you on the day. You must not use your cell phone in the polling station. It's against the law to take a photograph of a ballot that is cast. We're going to ask you to just follow the rules and instruction of our presiding officers. And those are the main things I want you to adhere to. As best as possible, walk with your voter's ID card. If you are not yet pick up your card, just go to the center and be office, and there your cards are. Your ID card is there to go and pick that up. The card assists the process to move much smoothly and faster than if you come without a card.
And how many of your members are out today marshalling the activities, ensuring all goes well?
This is a fairly large constituency. We have 146 polling stations. So to assist us in the process, we engage close to 600 persons to assist us in the process. That includes the presiding officers, poll clerks, one-day policemen, supervisors, reserves, etc. So we're talking about a complement of about 600 persons.
And your budget has not moved?
Now, the budget that was approved, that's the budget we're working with.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brown, well, we'll check in with you at some other time throughout the day just to get an update about how voting and those activities are going for the Northeast St. Anne by-election.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So we
take a break?
Yeah, he said by 6:30. And the key word in that is by. So don't go to complain now, so the man tell us by 6. Say at 6:30 and quiet. By 6:30 we should be good. But we'll be good. We'll be good by that time.
Crisp and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled. A pure water would drink. The time by pure water is
8:21.
Halfway through Balmoral Slip Road, Papine. Halfway through Balmoral Slip Road, Papine.
You alright?
Yeah, just trying to map out all the National Bakery wholesale locations. So anywhere me there in Kingston, we can pull up on a National Wholesale and get me bread and snacks cheaper than anywhere else.
But Bird Boss, you forget one. The newest one at that, with whole heap of parking. 3 miles, 207 Hagley Park Road.
Wow, another one?
National Wholesales, where every deal's a steal. It's always national.
Welcome to our Active Corner brought to you by Active Home Center. Are you ready to upgrade your bathroom? It's time to choose the perfect toilet for your space. First, consider the size of your bathroom. Measure the space where the toilet will be installed so it fits comfortably. Also, decide if you'd want a standing toilet or one that floats from the wall to suit your style. Did you know toilets can conserve water too? Look for toilets with a green water sense label that uses less water when flushing. Also, consider soft close toilet seats that close slowly and quietly. Shop toilets in our showroom today. Tune in at this time for more from Active Home Center.
Get busy with a Bizcar, Bizgrow, Bizboost. With a giant bank Bizloan, you can't lose when you walk over all your business due.
JN Bank Small Business Loans.
Have a loan for you.
Helping you succeed is our business. Tell us your business and let's help you start it, grow it, or boost it. Borrow as low as $10,000 and up to 100 million Jamaican dollars. Enjoy flexible payment terms and affordable rates. Apply now. WhatsApp 876-295-1298. JN Bank. We'll help you find a way.
With so much to do in one location, make Megamart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills, fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
Back with us, 8:23. Tony, I have to set this one up because you had the image. I haven't seen it.
Right. So it's in relation to the story that formed the foundation of your What's on My Mind this morning, that story that the Gleaner posted with the Integrity Commission and Justice Seymour Panton, the chairman of the IC, basically saying that they will not cower. And a part of the story was a message that was sent to the Director of Investigations at the Integrity Commission, Kevon Stevenson, that formed part of the Gleaner story. And the quote that they had from it indicating a threat against the Director of Elections was, "Yes, nasty PNP boy, you must go down, all germs." They had that from the message that was sent to Stevenson. But I've also gotten a screenshot of that message with the full message that was sent to Mr. Stevenson. And the full message that was not reported in the article said, "Yes, nasty PNP boy, you must go down, all germs. By way of showing you must go down is going out and vote for a third term and shame una." And there's an expletive. Yeah. So I was just wondering.
Go again. Because the Gleaner reports that, yes, nasty PNP boy, you must go down old germs, and ends it there. So
Right.
a reasonable person would think that that's the message, because in fact it says the IC chairman's remarks come against the background of a social media post sent to IC Director of Investigations Kevin Stevenson on Saturday, which states, quote, yes, nasty PNP boy, you must go down old germs. A common pattern described as being designed to drive fear into the heart of the director.
Mhm.
And you're saying the full message says what?
Yeah, so the full message, the sentence that was not reported was, by way of showing you Moscow Down is going out and vote for a third term and shame uno expletive. So that changes we can't post it now because there's an expletive. We're going to show you the screenshot of the message that was sent to the Director of Elections, but it has an expletive at the end. So I can't post it for you to see, but I just read what it said anyway. So it changes, George, the complexion, the interpretation of what we're supposed to get from this, because the entirety of what was in the message was not sent. And this adds context to the message of must go down, because the person was qualifying what they meant by must go down. And for them, must go down was, we're gonna go out and vote for the JLP. So, yeah. But I'm just wondering though why the entirety of the text message wasn't carried in the story. Yeah, give people the full picture of what was said in the message. Of course, you'd put the expletives in asterisks or whatever, but give people the full picture of what was said so people have an understanding and can walk away with the full context and make up their own minds of what they think of the message that was sent.
You know, here's one thing I will never do. I'll always speak in general terms when I'm criticizing our own, meaning our colleagues in the business. But you will never hear me mention anybody by name and say this, that. And sometimes I wish I didn't have that as part of my ethos.
But just before you go on as well, George, or is it a case where the screenshot was cropped? So that part of the message was cut off. I don't know, but if it is that they got what we have here, I wonder why it wasn't carried in entirety.
It's an excellent point you make, because in my mind I'm already searching for benefit of doubt to give to our colleagues at the Gleaner to explain why the insufficiency of the quote has been posted and not the sufficiency thereof. So even in my own mind, I'm saying, well, there must be a reason, because it cannot be that they saw the whole thing and just went with this. This may have been the only thing. The writer of the article, let me tell you, Edmund Campbell, senior staff reporter. So I doubt strongly that he would have seen the whole thing and then just used that. Because as you've said, even beyond what I said go down means and how I interpret it and how most people would interpret it given what go down means in everyday speak.
Yeah.
That which you just read changes completely, not partially, it's a complete change from the thing that we're being asked to think about the quote by the article and the comments to the article, and the fact that the comment is going to be reported to the police.
Yeah, because the statement was qualified.
Yes. So I'm doing for our colleagues what they don't do for us. It's not a secret, Nationwide writes things. Many of our colleagues are the worst with the criticism and the sniping and saying the worst, but we know better. So yeah, but so I'm giving the Gleaner the benefit of the doubt to say that they saw a cropped version which stopped at the point where their quote stopped.
Because George, I'm not saying how the director of elections was described in this text message is appropriate enough.
Absolutely
inappropriate.
Yes.
You don't put these things, send people these
Yes.
things in their DMs.
Which is why I said if he feels that it's bad enough to warrant action, then fine, because that's how he sees it.
Yeah, but for me, if I was sent a text message like this, but the qualifier was the second sentence I read, I would not see reason to go forward because I'm seeing what you mean by your godong.
Right. And even so, Mr. Stevenson is not a politician. He serves the Integrity Commission in the role as a director of the Director of Investigations. So whether or not you vote JLP, PNP is neither here nor there to him.
Yeah. But it was indicated as some sort of threat with just that line. Yeah. But with the qualifier.
Look, don't dress it up, Tana. The quote as it is incendiary.
Yeah.
The quote as it is an incendiary quote. And the Gleaner is saying, look at what was said about Kevin Stevenson to the extent that the chairman took it upon himself to report it to the National Security Minister.
Yeah.
Who then advised that, Justice, properly this thing ought to be referred to the police. And Mr. Stevenson said so. They quoted Greg Christie in this article. They quoted Kevin Stevenson. They quoted retired Justice Seymour Panton. And two of those, Panton and Stevenson, said that this matter is being treated so seriously that it's going to be a police matter.
Yeah.
Wow. Do we take call? Let's open the line. So 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, 618-825. I beg you, if you're commenting on this matter, be very sensitive. Yeah, there are people's names at stake, and just be judicious in the comments you make. All right. Break time. Back with more after these.
Looking to add a touch of elegance to your room? The Lighting World by Fosrich is having a massive lighting blowout sale. Get your wall lamps, chandeliers, ceiling lamps, fans, and more at amazingly low prices. Sale begins Sunday, September 29, with up to 50% off selected items. It's the Fosrich Lighting Blowout Sale, September 29. Shop and save only at Fosrich. Open Sundays.
Just touch down on the island. Popeye's wings and style. Roll up in at the venue. Brand new thing on the menu. Wing the alarm for the ghost pepper. Nice. Honey barbecue and the sweet and spicy. Wing the alarm, flavor them take off. Yo, Popeye's wings are the right breed. See them so we do. Popeye's wings touch down in Jamaica. Bag of flavors. Brand new thing on the menu. Roll up in at the venue. Tell them a style of send you. Love that chicken from Popeye.
Azen Super Center in Midtown Crossroads, a place you've come to know and trust for quality and the best prices. Now, come see our expanded range of products, fine furnishings, kitchenware, your smart TVs, and all things electronics, and the latest in curtains, bed linen, and bathroom accessories. It's the new and expanded Azen Super Center in Midtown Crossroads with convenient, safe, and free parking. Shop with a smile at Azen Super Center.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Just before we go to the lines, thanks to one of our YouTubers, Seeley, who is saying, I said Director of Elections when I was talking about Kevin Stevenson. I didn't even realize that. Director of Investigations at the Integrity Commission. Thank you so much for that, Seeley. Sometimes we're talking. Yeah. We just had a conversation with Glasspool Brown, the Director of Elections. You go over into another conversation, you don't even realize you're still speaking about the title of the previous guest that you had on. Talking
right.
about the Director of Investigations at the IC, Kevon Stevenson.
Clear. We understand that one of our you regular contributors over the years, over many, many, many years, and a contributor to many talk shows, you would have known him by the moniker Jamintel. He used Leslie a lot these past few years. That he has passed away. Jamintel, the caller, known to anybody who listens to talk radio knows Jamintel. It's not even a question. The same man who sometimes would come on and say his name is Leslie. He has passed away. Who do we have online, Michelle? We have a member of the opposition's communication, the government's rather, communications team, Marlon Morgan, who wants to say something. Morning, Marlon.
Hi, morning, George. Let me say good morning to Tana and the listeners as well.
Morning to you.
Indeed, you would have cited just now that Mr. Leslie McLean, more popularly known as Jamintel, and indeed in a period later, he went by the moniker, just his first name, Leslie. He made his transition last evening, and I decided that it would be entirely appropriate to just call into the program this morning on behalf of the entire Jamaica Labour Party family and its supporters, both at home here in Jamaica and those in the diaspora, to stand in solidarity with the family of Jamintel and, of course, express our deepest condolences on his passing. He is one of those persons, George, who was formidable, incisive, and fearless in his commentary. He had a passion for Jamaica, and whenever he engaged across radio stations, over the many decades, he was always someone who spoke with conviction. And it's a tremendous loss for us as a political party. And people like Jamintel are often unsung heroes. And even in his passing, I want to just big him up and thank him immensely for his contribution to public discourse by way of his many calls over the years to radio stations. I'm one of those youngsters, by the way, who, as I came into political consciousness, particularly in the 90s, a time when friends were few in the Labour Party, people like Jamintel and another gentleman, nephew, also from northeastern Jamaica, would have stood out. And for those of us who will remember those phone calls, we remember how probing and how formidable he was, because oftentimes the host of the program would take him to task as they interrogated the points he was making. And I recall vividly how he was able to just champion the issues and speak in a fearless and strident way. So it's a huge loss, and I just want to say condolences to Jamintel's family. He's from Claremont in St. Anne, and that is a space in Jamaica that has not often had has not necessarily had political success in the JLP column in terms of winning the seat. But it just shows you the measure of the man.
Yeah, I remember him well. Thank you for those words this morning, Marlon. All the best to you.
Good. Thank you so much.
See the member of the JLP's communication team, Marlon Morgan. I too remember Jamintel Atana. Very reasoned, always had facts. Never rabidly political, but it was clear that he was partial to the JLP, but he was never one of those who just came with innuendo or came to cuss. He came to reason. And one of the reasons I respect him is that, as a young man making my way on the program, sometimes a young caller calls in and they're talking to the senior man, Cliff Hughes. They don't even acknowledge it. They don't always say good afternoon, youngster. They just talk to Cliff and pretend like, Cliff alone exists. But he would engage with you as a youngster, and he made you feel as if your view mattered, and he would call and ask questions of you. If he called and asked Cliff 5 things, he would have made sure that the 6th one would be you, to ensure that you didn't feel left out. And I respected that over the years. So Jamintel, good. All right. Who else do we have?
Richie, good morning.
Good morning, Lady T.
Morning to you.
Good morning, my George.
Morning, sir.
I too will say condolence to Jamintel family. I mean, they have lost a champion. I've been listening to for years, and he just called Cliff Hughes a few weeks ago as well, Sound him very much like someone who is very healthy. Well, his time has come. Yes, George, I listened to you talk about the allegation, which was against Dr. Camp this morning, and I'm hoping that he will not believe that you hold a whole swore. Many people been talking about that allegation until now. One man in particular, if he's listening to the program this morning, will be laughing. Because he put it so bad that if Dr. Campbell should charge and go to court, he wouldn't come out of prison.
But hold on. No, you see, that's a problem I have, Richie, because I'm saying that matter has been settled. The court settled the matter, and the man has gotten his damages awarded to him, and the court tell the people who are making the allegations to cease and desist and to remove all offending material. So hold on. So what I'm saying is that matter is dead. So the context I was referring to it in was when it was alive. And what Dr. Campbell asked us to believe. That matter, not in my opinion, it's a matter of fact that is a dead matter. So I'm not reviving that matter at all.
I'm saying, I'm hoping that he's not saying that you're reviving it. That's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making.
All right, sir.
And I'm saying to Dr. Campbell, if that allegation is true,
no, but you can't say the matter dead and say if the allegation is true. There's no allegation. Richie, there is no allegation against Dr. Campbell.
There would no.
There is none on this day. Richie, on this day in sports, September 30, 2024, there is no allegation against the gentleman. So stay on that line, man.
I'm staying on the line.
Right.
What I'm saying to Dr. Campbell, people say what they want to say.
Yes.
But my mother, as she always say, if your conscience set you free, you're free indeed.
Very well. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that.
Anyway, come again. I want to know who was the advisor for PJ Patterson. Can you tell me?
Who was the advisor? PJ Patterson had many advisors.
Had many?
Yeah,
tell me some of them.
Some of them, I'll tell you one. One of the most respected advisors to the former Prime Minister was Dr. Vin Lawrence.
Okay. Okay. I just want to know one. Okay.
All right.
One more thing. Can you tell me when they will publish in the so-called what's it called again? The Integrity Commission, the one that against
FinTech report you're talking?
FinTech report. Can you tell me something about it?
Well, I'll ask our parliamentary reporter, Siobhan Campbell, to update on that this week. All right?
We need to know.
Yeah, man. All right, Richie. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Good.
Cool.
All right, good. Going back to the phones.
Yeah.
Trying to figure them out.
A timely check would be good.
Yeah, man.
Because I think the last time the finance minister spoke to this was in the budget, where he said there'd be some sort of archive with all the FinSat material that would be published. So, yeah, we can check back to find out how far along they are with that. Who's next?
Chris,
good morning.
Morning, Tana. Morning, George.
Morning, sir.
I greet you well.
Yeah, man.
Our condolences to Leslie McLean from down there in Speartown in St. Anne, the Garden Parish.
Yes.
That man was a champion of what we dub as call-in radio.
Yeah, man. Legendary voice.
Yeah, man. Man. I mean, if there's ever two persons that became household names as it relates to call-in radio station, Leslie McLean would be one of them.
Yes.
And I would dare to say nephew as well.
And rivaling them, don't forget Garnet, the blind gentleman used to call Miss Glued. Remember Garnet?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
then.
sir. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So and he was on not so long ago, Leslie, that is.
Yeah, man, that's what Richie was telling me just now, that he called Cliff recently.
Jamintel.
Yes.
And for the younger persons who don't know how he got that name Jamintel, back in the days, George, you and I know that when a man chat too much, them call it Jamintel, because Jamintel was one of our telecommunications.
Yeah.
I don't know if it wasn't a radio station, but it was a telecommunications.
Telecoms provider.
Yes.
Telecoms provider, yeah.
Yes. So that's how he got the name as one of those stalwarts who would call and would debate the issue.
He knew everything. Yeah, man.
These are the folks, George, who teach us and taught us how to research before we come on radio.
And Chris, you make an excellent point, because people may be wondering, so why are we bigging up the man? For those of us, I was just out of high school when Jamintel was perhaps in his pomp in the early 90s, calling into the talk shows and squaring off with the talk show host. It was a part of political education for little boys like me and girls, I'm sure. Marlon Morgan himself said it. Yeah, we're from the same generation. People like those helped us to think about the issues and to learn how to reason as well.
And not just the politics. And
Yes.
I learned from people like Jamintel and even nephew that you can support one political party, but you must have honesty and integrity in how you debate the issues.
And he
It's like
personified that. Jamin
yes,
did.
man, absolutely, absolutely. And we say to him and his family, and to the people who surround him. We are in Northeast St. Andrews.
I know you are in Northeast St. Anne, Chris. You don't have to tell me.
Absolutely. No better place to be. No better place to be than to be in the St. Anne's Bay Division, where we'll be marshalling the troops and getting the votes out. We're running against the clock, and we're running against what a lot of the pundits will say is an undercover, you know what. But nonetheless, we are doing the work. I was listening to the clip that you mentioned there, Tana, regarding, and you clarify very well. There's several things that could happen there, though. There could actually be an update on the post, depending on where it was posted, or it could very well be a deliberate attempt to create a certain narrative. Now, what it tells you, though, George, is how trivial we're taking these things. Because when people say, and you and I know, Tana, you would have heard this out in the street all the time. When people say, you have to go down, to me, it is nothing to even call home about these days because it's really a jest.
Yeah, man.
Am I incorrect?
No, 100%.
It is a jest. So when people at that level would take a matter of that nature to the police or to the Minister of National Security, it tells you that something is not connected.
I get this one, Chris, as I agree with you. It's just like a man post, like you see somebody post on social media and say, listen, the people them who go to the restaurant and order ackee and saltfish and curry gravy, you don't have to go down.
Have to go down.
Have to go down.
Yeah.
It's obvious that these guys are not living with the times.
I don't know.
If you take a matter like that to the Minister of National Security, you're really wasting time.
Yeah.
I think the time would have been better spent, though, by the goodly retired Justice, that was Seymour Pan. I love this man, great man. But I think the time would have been better spent if we had ventilated the matter regarding his own director, who at some point did not or refused to give a statement to the police. The time would have been better spent ventilating that.
Yeah.
I think that is more of a police matter than a matter of you have to go down. Have to go down in a slang all over Jamaica.
Yeah, the silence on that Ryan Evans matter, Chris, demanded attention, and the moment passed. The good chairman let that moment slip.
But and George, it is something that he might make it slip, but I think the Jamaican people, and this is something I am going to start calling on the oversight committee in Parliament, because question must be asked, George.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this, Tana. If you in your work heard of an incident where a parliamentarian was robbed outside his office and he had a briefcase with $900,000 in there, and he at some point refused to give a statement to the police, how would you interpret it?
Something is going on that we need to figure out. What is happening with the victim, and we need to figure that out. That would be my first call, to go to the victim. What's happening?
Right. And if the victim say, look, I give a statement, Rasta, because I feel like giving a statement, for whatever the reasons are, how would you interpret it, though? Because you have to, I know you're a journalist, you have an investigative mind, but what would you start with? Where would you go next?
After the person said they're not giving a statement?
Yes.
Why?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my question is, George, why is it that we're not asking these questions of the IC? The IC has watered themselves down to the level that you're really taking a trivial statement as happy go down to National Security Minister. When you have a director that have questions to answer to this public. Listen, we take these guys.
But to be fair to the director, Chris, he did indicate at some point that there was a matter of fear involved why he hadn't gone. The issue I had with the ICs that they put it in their annual report that the police are basically being tardy in their investigations and hadn't provided the IC with an update, when it seems they didn't have the full story of what was taking place with the investigation, but said something against the JCF's investigation anyway. That was my issue.
But even within their own hall, there is some questions because they're not coming clean with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know how this thing is going to be dealt with. George and Tana, we need an integrity commission. But I can tell you that this one the current Integrity Commission in its current form, it's not working. I think the Jamaican people has lost confidence, and I don't know how we are going to do it, but it must be dissolved. We must move on to another setup, get brand new people in, rebuild the institution, fix whatever, plug whatever gap. Because how do you have, again, an institution of this magnitude, George? You know that they don't have to show up tomorrow?
Listen, I am half expecting no, I swear, I'm half expecting a notification that the session will be cancelled or rescheduled because the members are not available. To how things are go. Yeah.
When you have something of that magnitude, George, an entity with billions of taxpayers' dollars going to them, and they are subpoenaed to talk to the committee oversight in Parliament, a statute of government, and they refuse to show up. How do you deal with it?
I said this to you, Chris. We have to go. I'm getting the theme music. Tardiness have to go down. Simple as that. Have to go down. All right.
All the best to you guys.
All right, Chris.
This could be your year to build with an NHT loan. Find out more at nht.gov.jm. The time by NHT is
8:51.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Popeye's Wings. Try the 6-piece combo today for only $1,395. Wing the alarm!
Saturday mornings on JBC TV. You run to the TV to watch Fame. Nobody born alive in that period will forget this theme song to this series. It was outstanding. Fame. Yeah. And Leroy.
Yeah.
Of blessed memory.
That time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Ravage J on YouTube is saying today is my 25th birthday. Happy birthday to you, Ravage J over on YouTube. Hope you have a really, really good one. Also celebrating their birthday today. Happy birthday greetings going out to our friends on Facebook. Luther Thomas, Amado Danny, happy birthday as well to Paula Ann Porter Jones over there at Radio Jamaica.
One Paula Ann Porter.
Yeah, never two.
One Paula.
Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a really, really great day. Happy birthday as well to Tana Richards, Marsha Gay Miles, Dan Maria Ellis. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to Lorian Williams. Happy birthday greetings also going out. This one says to my wonderful neighbor, Arlene Miller, who's like a daughter to me. Thanks for all you continue to do for me. Much appreciated. God's abundant blessings upon you from Mrs. Brahma. So happy birthday to you, Arlene Miller from Mrs. Brahma. And Nika Gavin, a VVIB, very, very important birthday. Jermaine's niece, Nika Gavin, happy birthday to you from your daughter, Ajane, your brother and your sister, your grandmother, and your mom and your aunties and your cousins and all of your relatives and friends, including Uncle Jermaine. Happy birthday to you, Nika Gavin. Hope you have a really good day.
Big tune is not on it, named Tarzan Boy.
Tarzan Boy.
Yeah. I said this, you know?
Yeah.
After what happened yesterday to my Manchester United at Old Trafford, we were disemboweled 3-0 by Tottenham Hotspur. It could have been more. You see, our manager, Eric Ten Hag, he have to go down. Ten Hag have to go down.
Man, you have to go down too.
I'm Man U. Ten Hag, the coach. We need a new coach, Tana, man. He have to go down, man.
Clash Camp said it too. He said Manchester United did have to go down yesterday.
Yeah? In the words of high school, yo, Eric Ten Hag, come down. Come down.
A final one here. Kayan Ellis sending belated birthday greetings to Donna Pummels, who celebrated her birthday yesterday. Hope she had a wonderful one. So belated birthday greetings to you, Donna Pummels from Kayan Ellis. And I'm just scrolling to make sure there are no other birthdays that I'm missing. I'm at the end of the chat, not seeing any other. So if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you. Here comes the last one. Donovan Siblis sending happy birthday greetings to his sister, Charmaine Siblis, wishing her a wonderful day. So happy birthday to you, Charmaine, from your brother Donna. Belated happy birthday greetings as well to our sister Barbara Sr. from Old Harbor Bay, who had her birthday yesterday. Greetings coming from your 4 sisters, your brother, your husband, your children, your grandchildren, and your nieces, the whole of your family, sending you happy birthday greetings.
Somebody asking me what I thought about Wilmot Perkins.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, that's one of my regrets. You know, I never listened to a lot of Wilmot Perkins because my granny was an RGR man. So the radio was, I was listening to Barbara Gludon, Antoinette Harton Cardenas, and those people every day, RGR night till morning and repeat. Mm-hmm. So I would hear Perkins when I went to, or if I was at somebody else's house and the radio was there, I'd hear. But Perkins was legendary, and there's no doubt. Yeah, but I didn't listen to half as much of Perkins as I ought to have. Because RGR meeting, not that I regret it, because you know Miss Gludon was Miss Gludon unique, but you know, unfortunately.
I think we do, you know, as we wrap. You know, when you're traveling with your friends, as you're going there, you have Nationwide. If you don't have Nationwide, what are you doing?
To the world.
But that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning, NTM. Thanks so much to our technical operator, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCrae-Smith, and our super editor, Kimon Thompson, in the newsroom. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliffy's Online. I'm Tawna Thomas.
Until you have Perkins through later in the week. My name is George Davis.
Good morning.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Popeye's Wings. Try the 6-piece combo today for only $1,395. Wing the alarm!
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.